Doggy Dog and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance, so back on up.
Cause you know we're about to rip shit up.
Give me the microphone first so I can bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. Ain't nothing but a G-thing, baby. Two loped out niggas, so we're crazy. Death Row is the label that pays me. Unfadable, so please don't try to fake this. But back to the lecture at hand. Perfection is perfected, so I'ma let them understand. From a young G's perspective. And before me digging a bitch, I have to find a contraceptive. You never know, she could be earning her man and learning her man, and at the same time burning her man. Now you know I ain't with that shit, Lieutenant. Ain't no pussy good enough to get burned while I'm offended. And that's realer than real deal, Holyfield. And now you hookers and hoes know how I feel. Well, if it's good enough to get broke off a proper chunk, I take a small piece of some of that funky stuff. It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and like that and like this and Drake creep to the mic like a fan.
Well, I'm peeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping, but I damn near got caught cause my beeper kept beeping. Now it's time for me to make my impression felt. So sit back, relax and strap on your seatbelt. You've never been on a ride like this before, with a producer who can rap and control the maestro. At the same time with the dope rhyme that I kick, you know and I know I flow some more funky shit. To add to my collection, this selection symbolizes dope. Take a toke but don't choke. If you do, you have no clue of what me and my homie Snoop Dogg came to do. It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this. And who gives a fuck about those?
So just chill to the next episode. On that ass, what a hellified gangster lean. Getting funky on the mic like an old batch of collard greens. It's the capital S-O-S, I'm fresh and double O-P, D-O-double-G-Y-D-O-double-G, you see. Showing much flex when it's time to wreck a mic. Pimping hoes and clocking a grip like my name was Dolomite. Yeah, and it don't quit. I think they in the mood for some motherfucking G shit.
Yeah.
So Dre,
what up, dog?
gotta give them what they want.
What's that, G?
We gotta break them off something.
Hell yeah.
And it's gotta be bumping. City of Compton.
It's where it takes place, so when I show attention. Mobbing like a motherfucker, but I ain't lynching. Dropping the funky shit that's making the sucker niggas mumble. When I'm on the mic, it's like a cookie, they all crumble. Try to get close, say your ass will get smacked. My motherfucking homie, Doggy Dog, has got my back. Never let me slip, cause if I slip, then I'm slipping. But if I got my Nina, then you know I'm straight tripping. And I'ma continue to put the rap down, put the Mac down. And if your bitches talk shit, I have to put the smack down. Yeah, and you don't stop. I told you I'm just like a clock when I tick and I talk. But I'm never off, always on till the break of dawn. See you when PTO in the city they call Long Beach. Putting the shit together like my nigga DOC. No one can do it better like this, that, and this, and it's like that, and like this, and like that, and it's like this. Then who gives a fuck about those?
So just chill to the next episode.
I'm serious. What y'all niggas got to say? Hey baby, get some bubble gum in this motherfucking toast. Study long, study wrong.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kinda hard being Snoop D-O-double-G, but I somehow, some way keep coming up with funky ass shit like every single day. May I kick a little something for the G's and make a few ends as I breeze through 2 in the morning and the party still jumping cause my mama ain't home. I got bitches in the living room getting it on and they ain't leaving till 6 in the morning. So what you wanna do? Shit, I got a pocket full of rubbers and my homeboys do too. So turn off the lights and close the doors. But what? We don't love them hoes. Yeah. So we gon' smoke an ounce to this. G's up, hoes down, while you motherfuckers bounce to this. Rolling down the street, smoking in love, sipping on gin and juice. Laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Rolling down the street, smoking in love, sipping on gin and juice. Laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
I got me some Seagram's gin. Everybody got their cups, but they ain't chipped in. Now this types of shit happens all the time. You gotta get yours, but fool, I gotta get mine. Everything is fine when you're listening to the D.O.G. I got the cultivating music that be captivating me. Who listens to the words that I speak as I take me a drink to the middle of the street and get to mackin' to this bitch named Shady. She used to be the homeboy's lady. 80 degrees when I tell that bitch, please raise up off these NUTs, cause you get none of these at ease. As I mob with the dog pound, feel the breeze. Biatch up just
Biatch.
laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Rolling down the street, smoking window, sipping on gin and juice.
Laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Later on that day, my homie Dr. Dre came through with a gang to Tango Ray and a fat ass J of some bubonic chronic that made me choke. Shit, this ain't no joke. I had to back up off of it and sit my cup down. Tango Ray and chronic, yeah, I'm fucked up now, but it ain't no stopping. I'm still popping. Dre got some bitches from the city of Compton to serve me, not with a cherry on top. Cause when I bust my nut, I'm raising the bar to cop. Don't get upset, girl, that's just how it goes. I don't love you hoes, I'm out the dough, and I'll be
Rolling down the street, smoking
We don't love them hoes.
sipping on gin and juice.
laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Rolling down the street, smoking window, sipping on gin and juice.
Laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Rolling down the street, smoking window, sipping on gin and juice.
Biatch.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Rolling down the street, smoking window, sipping on gin and juice.
Biatch.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lunch Money Show. How's everybody doing? Doing all right? It's me, Uncle Lou, and Pigskin Pete. What's up, Pete?
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Happy New Year.
Yeah, can we say that already? Oh,
Yeah, I'm
well,
saying
yeah,
it.
I guess we can.
Yeah.
It'll
It's
be
that-
New Year by the time we do the next show, so yeah.
I mean, we say Merry
too late.
Christmas all the way you're leading up to Christmas, so why can't we say Happy New Year leading up to the New Year?
You make an excellent point.
Of course.
You make an excellent point. Welcome to the Lunch Money Show with me and Pigskin Pete. We do this every Monday night at 10 p.m. year round. So appreciate those of you who are still here. Yeah. And who will remain here in January, February, March, which, speaking of March, Slob Olympics, April, May, June, July, and August. And don't disappear during the part of the season where there ain't no games. That's right. We have a good time here year round. Hope everybody had a great Christmas over the weekend and stayed warm. It's still cold here. Well, how cold did it get there, Pete?
Saturday morning was 19, and Sunday morning was about the same, about 20.
Yeah, it was like 13 or 14 here. And at one point, I think it was Saturday morning, Christmas Eve morning, the wind chill was -4. And I can count on one hand the number of times in my lifetime it's been that. I've lived here my whole life. I can count on one hand the number of times it's been that cold.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I was that cold here. We had a snow and ice storm in 2018,
I remember that.
and there was ice on the roads for about 5 days. I mean, it never got above freezing for 5 days, but I don't ever think it got below 20 degrees though. I mean,
Yeah.
it was in the 20s, but not. Well, I'll tell you this: we've lived in this house 5 years. First time our water pipes have ever frozen before. So
Oh, y'all, they did freeze.
yeah.
How long did they stay frozen? That was the problem. In some places, it's not that they froze, it's that it stayed below freezing for like 4 or 5 days straight, so they never unthawed.
Yeah. Well, I got them unfrozen. I spent the whole day trying to get them unfrozen. So I was running water. I mean, see, here's the weird thing. The cold water worked, but the hot water pipes were frozen. I don't know how that all works.
Yeah.
But so I just turned on the hot water in one of my rooms, in one of my bathrooms, and just let it run all day. It was just dripping. But eventually it broke through, and then That was Friday night. And then Saturday night, I knew it was going to be as cold. So Mrs. Pete, she dripped the water all night so it didn't freeze. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, luckily you didn't have any bust. That's
No.
even worse.
Yeah, that's what Raj did.
Yeah, I know. Raj, and then I saw a lot of TikTok videos of people traipsing through 6 inches of water in their living room with Christmas presents floating around.
Yeah, I feel sorry for them, man.
Yeah, that's bad. That's pretty bad. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the Lunch Money Show. It's playoff week. It's New Year's 6 week. We actually have bowl games, that people are interested in this week. It was hard to get excited about the majority of the bowl games that we've had so far. I think the Florida-Oregon State game is probably the bowl game that got the most amount of traction, just mainly because Florida got humiliated and it was hilarious. But starting tomorrow, really, there's at least one good game, multiple good games most days, but at least one good game every day for 5 days in a row, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, capping off with the 2 playoff games Saturday, 4 p.m. Fiesta Bowl, 8 p.m. Peach Bowl. Got some New Year's 6 games, got some non-New Year's 6 games, but still I think considered decent bowl games, Gator Bowls, things like that. Whatever bowl Bama's in this year, stuff like that. So we'll talk about all those on the show today. We'll pull up, of course, the latest odds on those games, try to figure out a way to make some money on it or lose some money. The bigger the bowl game is, I think the easier it is to try to figure out winners and losers. The bigger the bowl game, generally speaking, the less opt-outs you might have. And I'll be honest, even though I watch a ton of college football, I just don't know that much about Western Kentucky or Air Force First, whoever, Baylor or whatever. Just, at least the teams playing now are for the most part teams that people tend to pay attention to. So makes it a little bit easier to talk about the games, bet on the games, pick the games, and watch the games. So there's that.
What's the good game tomorrow you were speaking of?
Wisconsin and Oklahoma State. I know I'm reaching on that, but
No. That based on what we've seen so far, I agree with you.
yeah,
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
I think there's 3, maybe even 4 games tomorrow. Most of them are due to, and then I think, and the Wisconsin Oklahoma State game, I think for some reason doesn't even come on until 10:15 at night.
Yeah,
it's a late one, but at least it's something. Like you said, compared to what we've been getting. And then Tuesday, I think you have, or not Tuesday. My days are all messed up because of Christmas, I guess. But Wednesday, I know you've got Arkansas and Kansas. I think there's at least one other decent game that day.
Yeah, or North Carolina and Notre Dame, I think.
No, North Carolina and Oregon, maybe.
I don't know why I keep saying that.
Notre Dame and South Carolina, which I think is Thursday.
Yeah, North Carolina
Friday,
and Oregon. I think that's at 8:00 on Wednesday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Clemson and Tennessee is, I know that's on Friday, but that's Friday night? Okay.
8:00. Yeah.
It's the Orange Bowl. Saturday at noon is the Sugar Bowl, Alabama and Kansas State. I think there's another game on at noon, too, like Iowa and Kentucky or something like that. But then, of course, you have the playoff games at 4 and 8. So great games all the way through Saturday. A little bit weird in that there's no college football games on New Year's Day this year. We all kind of grew up as that sort of being the day that the majority of the big bowl games were played on. This is back before the playoff structure got put in place and really even the BCS kind of. But because that falls on a Sunday this year, no games on New Year's Day, Sunday. But then Monday, we've got some games. I know the Rose Bowl is on Monday and I think a few more. So what is that? 5 days in a row, 6 out of the next 7 days. We've got some great college football. I'm going to be live streaming a ton of games over the next week. Starting tomorrow, I'm live streaming games 5 days in a row. Nothing to live stream on Sunday, of course, and then I'll live stream on Monday too. But a lot of good football to get in over the next week before things wrap up with the national title game. I think January 9th. Is that right? The national title game? Something like that.
It's either the 9th or the 10th.
Yeah.
Well, what's a week from Monday? Monday is a 2nd.
So the 9th.
Yeah, Monday's the 2nd. So yeah, the 9th.
Yeah,
That's right.
The 9th. So we'll talk about all those games today that are coming up this week. I don't know about an Edward update. Well, I do know about an Edward update. What I mean is I don't know if anyone's interested in it, but I don't really know what Edward's got going on. I noticed he did do another 4-hour nighttime stream, so I don't know if he's got permission now from his mother to get back to streaming, or if he's doing it in secret or whatever the case. But apparently he's off whatever streaming restriction he was on from his mother. And is back to live streaming, because I did notice he had at least one. Let me pull it up and see if he's done any more.
I feel like we're getting the Millis treatment from Edward, but he's being more open about it.
Yeah, well, maybe we should have been doing Millis Vanillas updates, but we do have for a while there just was no update. That's why we weren't doing Millis Vanillas updates, but there is an update now. But it looks like he did stream 5 days ago for 4 hours and 13 minutes. So I guess that means he's back in business. I don't know, Edward, if you're watching and you want to come on and explain to us what happened. If you're off of restriction or whatever it was you were on, you're welcome to come on and let us know. I don't see you in the back room now, but if you want to come in and talk with us for a little bit, you can. So there you go, Edward. Open invitation, buddy.
That I heard roaming around about Edward. You want to hear it?
Mm-hmm. I do.
He is slipping sleeping pills into his mother's tea.
Oh.
So that she passes out long enough for him to stream and doesn't know the better of it.
Okay. I mean,
I'm not accusing him of anything. I don't know.
I mean, it's a sound plan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sort of the Casey Anthony plan, except she didn't use sleeping pills. She used chloroform, but for the same reason. She wanted her baby to go to sleep, so she chloroformed her baby and then just accidentally gave her too much, and oops, she didn't wake up. So her dad threw her in the woods. So, have you seen the Casey Anthony thing, by the way? Haven't either.
I mean, the original thing, yeah. I don't know. You're talking about something new?
Yeah, there's she's never spoke about it since the trial. No interviews, no statements to anybody, nothing. Just total radio silence, in hiding type of deal. Well, she agreed to participate in some sort of documentary, and apparently she tells her story. Her story. She's sticking to the basically her dad did it story. She, she's still saying her dad sexually molested her, and her dad killed the kid, drowned in the pool when her dad was watching him, I guess, and the dad threw it in the woods, just totally blaming the dad. I don't believe her. I think she was
riding around with the kid in the trunk for a month or whatever, how long it was.
Yeah, and I mean, you have kids.
Yeah. Tell
me, what would you do if you could not find your kid for an hour?
Call somebody.
I would be out of my mind.
Yeah.
They didn't call the police for 30 fucking days.
Yeah. No.
So come on. 30 days for an infant, a toddler. Never mind an 11-year-old who might be able to find something to eat out of a trash can or something if they just, who knows? They run away, whatever. This is a toddler that can't even walk, hardly, or whatever. 30 days, you don't even call the police? I'm not falling for that.
If I can't find my kid for 30 minutes, I don't know whether I'll freak out.
Yeah. So I'm not buying whatever it is she's selling. I'm just not buying it. So
before you know it, it's going to be the whole OJ thing. If I did do it, here's how I would have done it. Try to sell some books on that.
The balls on OJ Simpson to write that book.
Hey,
if I would have done it, here's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Jesus, OJ Simpson, man. Oh boy, wow. Anyway, so that's the Casey Anthony update. I haven't watched any of the new thing, but so I'm not gonna. I don't care what she has to say. But guess what? I did start rewatching Game of Thrones. Big mistake. No sleep for Lou. Last couple of days. It's a miracle I did a video today. Tore myself away from the TV long enough to do a video.
Spin-off, right?
No.
Why not? Why are you watching the old one again? You haven't seen the new one.
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't have an answer for you.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's good.
Oh, it's great.
No, I'm talking about the new one.
Oh, the House of the Dragon?
Yeah, Game of Thrones is amazing. I'm talking about the new one.
Okay.
Look, people are so, they want it to be exactly like it used to be. It's the same writer that wrote the first, 5 or 6 episodes of Game of Thrones wrote the new one.
Okay.
So it's a great backstory. Now you have to get through the first 2 episodes because they set the whole thing up. So, people watch 1 or 2 episodes and they go, oh yeah, this ain't as good as the old one. Yeah. You gotta keep watching it.
Yeah. I'll watch it then. I'll check it out.
It gets really good towards the end of the season too.
Yeah. BA's never seen Game of Thrones. So started watching that last night at 10 o'clock. And already right now I'm on the last episode of season 1. So that tells you what I've done over the last 24 hours, which is basically just sleep, eat, and watch Game of Thrones. So episode 8's the last episode of season 1. And it was just about to start when I came in here to do this.
Oh, I'm sorry I took you away from that.
Yeah. I thought about the whole I'm not feeling good routine, but that you thought about pulling this morning, but I didn't.
I really am sick.
Oh, okay.
I've been sick all weekend. I don't know. I might even have the Rona for all I know. I haven't got tested.
Yeah, you probably do have COVID.
I don't know. I feel like shit though. I know that.
Yeah.
What?
You're a trooper though.
I'm a professional.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. You're fighting through it like a champ.
Yes.
Which is good. I see Edward in the comments section.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Well, he's in the comments section, but he's not in the StreamYard.
Just came from Diggins stream. Yeah, no one here knows who that is, so including me and anyone else. So, thanks for letting us know. Thanks for letting us know. Did your kids have a good Christmas?
They did.
Yeah.
They better have. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah, when you get our age and you have kids, that's all that really matters. Yeah, my kids seem pretty happy. The good news is, Pete, and you probably have started to figure this out already. The older they get, there's less shit to put together.
Yeah, the only thing I had to put together this year, and I didn't even have to put it together, I just had to plug it in, was a jump castle.
Oh. Like an inflatable?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Y'all bought one?
Yeah. Yeah. I got hoodwinked into this. I'm telling you.
Are you going to start renting it out like as a side thing?
No.
Charging neighborhood kids like $10 an hour?
No.
That's
a good idea, though, actually.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it.
Wow.
Mrs. Pete claims that several months ago she said she wanted to get one of those jump castles, except the one you hook a hose up to. It's like a water park.
Yeah.
Has slides on it and shit, and there's water squirting out everywhere. And I immediately said no to that because, they just make the backyard into a mud hole.
Right.
And the reason I know that is because we had someone bring one of those over one day, like a friend, and it turned my backyard into a mud hole. So I know for sure exactly what's going to happen. So I said, no, absolutely not. She claims that she's made a compromise with me that it said that we'll just get a regular jump castle and not one with water in it. And that I said, okay, I'm calling bullshit on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, she plopped it out, next to the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve and said, I said, what's that? Well, that's the jump castle. I go, the what?
She waited to the last minute. You didn't even have time to return it. You didn't have time to argue.
Yeah, she goes, you don't remember? I go, remember what? I told you no. She goes, no, you made a compromise. I said, okay. Oh, anyway. That's about the extent of putting things together, which is good.
Now, you're not allowed to jump on that within 30 days of the Slob Olympics because I don't want no injury. Oh, I was on the jump castle. Now I can't participate in Slob Olympics because I broke this or broke that. So jump on it now, but you're not allowed on that thing within 30 days of Slob Olympics for safety.
Yeah, I'm not getting on that thing at all.
Okay.
That thing looks like an accident waiting to happen. I'm not getting on that.
Okay.
Cool for that.
Wow. A jump castle. That's amazing. Yeah, I don't think my kids got anything that can compete with that.
Well, if you want one, I got one for sale for $5. So,
did y'all get it set up already?
Oh yeah, shit, we set it up that day.
Okay. How long does it take to inflate? It came with a big electric fan or something to pump it up, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
it's like a blower you connect to it. Yeah,
Okay.
it takes about 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you have to tie it down, or is it like so big it just stays in place?
No, you gotta. Yeah, there's stakes. You gotta stake it down.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Now, how many people can this thing accommodate?
500 pounds.
Up to 500 pounds. So about 5 of your age kids or so.
Yeah, and there was 5 of them in there
Yeah.
yesterday and today. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, your backyard's going to be the hangout spot for a while.
Oh.
Now, if they ever had, I'm trying to think of like other big like that would attract. But have they ever had did they go through a trampoline phase? Have they ever had a trampoline back there?
Well, it's funny you say that because originally, and I left this part out of the conversation. Originally, she wanted to get a trampoline, and I said no to that.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Okay, a jump castle, water park." I go, "No to that." And well, apparently, I said yes to this, even though I don't believe it. But yeah, but no, we're not having a trampoline here.
Well, be glad you didn't go the trampoline route, because I can tell you from experience, those do not come assembled. It comes in a box about the size of a shoebox. A trampoline does. Yeah.
And you can't just fold that thing up and put it away when you're done with it.
Nope. It's a permanent deal.
It's a permanent deal. It's exactly why I said no to it.
Yeah. It take you all day to put that thing together.
Yeah, and you see my backyard. I mean, it's not huge, so that trampoline would take up like a third of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I can't do that. At least this thing I can. I mean, it will take me a few minutes to fold it up and put it away, but at least I can if I want to.
Now, it's not it's not like a tent where it comes in a carrying thing, but you can never get it in there, or what?
Well, it's funny you say that because we had that conversation, me and my father-in-law. It came with this little ass bag.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, a tiny little bag. And I go, "What's this?" And Mrs. P goes, "Well, that's the bag it goes in." I go, "Oh, really? You expect me to fit that in this little bag?"
Oh boy.
And so yeah, I'm predicting that I'm not going to be able to fit that thing in that bag. I'm just telling you. I haven't tried yet though.
Yeah. So what do you do with it? Just throw it in a garage type of deal?
I don't know yet. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
Yeah.
It's still like the kids are still infatuated with it because it's new.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Just
just leave it up
neighbors
for a
and
couple of
everything
days.
coming
Yeah.
over, and so once it wears off, I'll tear it down and figure out what I'm gonna do with it. Probably I'll just throw it in the garage.
Probably at least all this week with him being out of school, I would imagine it's probably
Yeah.
going to stay up and then figure something out
Yeah.
in a week or so. When do your kids go back to school? I just found out today mine don't go back till like next Thursday. I was like, what? No, you need to go back this coming Monday. They said, no, we don't go back till next Thursday.
That's a good question. I actually don't know the date. I'm assuming, well, it won't be on Monday because that's New Year's, or that's the day after New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably about the same thing. Yeah, I think it may be Thursday or Friday that week.
Yeah, and now they're already doing the thing where they're like, well, can't we just stay out till the next Monday? Because there's no point in just going back for 2 days. I'm like, there's definitely a point. Yeah, you're going back.
Mrs. Pete says January 3rd. So that would be Tuesday. So that'd be, Tuesday,
Okay.
which I think is right. I think our kids got out a couple of days before yours did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then. So that's that. What do y'all eat for Christmas? Traditional stuff, or y'all do something different?
Oh my God. Yeah, traditional, but just, I mean, so many people, we host so many people over here. We have my family, we have Mrs. Pete's family. People bring stuff, we make stuff. It was way too much food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean anything you could think of.
Did you make a turkey in your air fryer?
No.
Okay. That's good.
I don't know if we had turkey. We didn't have turkey. We had turkey for Thanksgiving. We actually had ham for Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we had turkey at my dad's. Turkey at my dad's. Yeah. This year.
I prefer turkey, but I'm the only one.
Yeah.
So.
I don't really care for turkey that much, like just to eat it, but I do like then the next couple of days making turkey sandwiches out of the leftover turkey. That is good.
Oh yeah.
That is good. I mean, I'll eat a piece of turkey or two, like on Thanksgiving or Christmas when it's fresh out of the oven or however it's cooked. But I look forward to the leftover turkey sandwiches more than I do the actual turkey itself. And so, well, with that being said, I ate 2 leftover turkey sandwiches today, and it was great. About a half a pound of Duke's mayonnaise on there too. Man, it was good. It was really, really good. So hope all of y'all had a good Christmas too. And like Pete said, New Year's is coming up. So
Yeah,
I
Happy New Year.
wonder, I know me and you talked about this before, but I wonder how many people watching, how much does it affect what y'all do on New Year's Eve that the playoff games are on New Year's Eve? In the comments, I'm just curious. I've never really done that much on. About the most I've done on New Year's Eve is my in-laws or ex-in-laws would sometimes have people over, and they lived right behind us, and so we would go over there and hang out some on New Year's Eve or whatever. But any year the playoffs have been on New Year's Eve, whether Georgia was involved or not. I don't even think anybody bothers to invite me to anything because they know the answer. But, and I think we mentioned this when we talked about this before, but there's probably some people who get themselves in a bind because you got people who've been doing like whatever their tradition is on New Year's Eve with their family or friends or whatever for years and years and years. And then college football up and decides they're going to start playing playoff games on New Year's Eve. I bet it gets some people in trouble with having to make some tough decisions, but luckily it hasn't really bothered me.
Yeah, we get invited to stuff. People, want to do stuff, and I'm just like, no, I can't do it that night.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you can't do it that night? We got going on that you can't do it. I'm like, well, that's the playoff night.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, so I'm like, yeah. It's hard to explain to people. They don't get it.
No, unless they're into football, they would.
No, they don't get it.
Same type of people who schedule fall weddings and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't understand what the big deal is. That's a them problem. Speaking of problems, what's up, Edward?
Hey, Lou. Hey, Pete. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing
What's
good.
up, Edward?
Not much. Well, I still look at it this way. If y'all didn't like me, you wouldn't have me on here. So.
Well, no one ever said they didn't like you.
Yeah. Well, people in the comments did.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm talking about us.
Right.
Well, yeah, you guys like me. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
people who
how
don't
was
like me-
how was Christmas?
Well, even though I don't celebrate it, it was great.
Oh, I forgot you're Jewish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I will say I did read a couple of my Batman graphic novels.
Okay. So you celebrate Hanukkah though? You and your family?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
I am Jewish like Celine Driver.
Wow. Okay. So,
And Jesus,
y'all
too.
still exchange gifts, right, for Hanukkah?
Yeah, well, we went to I don't know if you're familiar with I know you've been to downtown. I'm sure you and Pete both have.
Downtown Atlanta?
How familiar are you guys with the like the Alliance Theater, Hertz Stage?
No.
You're not familiar. Okay. Well, we saw someone perform, and they at the very end there was a room you go to. There's a bag with a couple CDs in there, and went and grabbed one, and I gave one of those to my mom.
Okay.
So.
You went and saw someone perform.
Oh,
Did
it's
does someone have
McKnight.
a name?
Adam McKnight, I think's his name.
Adam McKnight?
Yeah, I can
I have
get
no idea who that is. Do you, Lou?
What was he performing? Magic or what? What is he?
No, just different like songs.
He's a singer.
Singer.
Yeah,
What was he singing? Hanukkah songs? What are you talking about?
just different type of songs.
Does anybody know who he's talking about?
Is this someone famous or who like tours around or what? Like,
I
why'd you
guess
go?
I just wanted to see what he was all about. Just check him out.
Brian McKnight, maybe?
No, I think Adam. No, it's Adam.
Adam Levine?
Adam McKnight.
McKnight.
Adam McKnight.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Is he a black guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you Googling him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
President and CEO of Music Montage Incorporated. He's got some stuff on YouTube. Adam L. McKnight. There haven't been many times. Let's see what this is. Edward, who'd you go to this with?
My dad.
Okay. Well, I'll put it on the screen for people to take a look at for themselves. Edward and his dad watching this in concert. Edward, is that the right guy I'm playing there?
It might be. I can go get my program, see if it matches, but I don't.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of gospel singer, maybe.
Yeah, like R&B, soul type music.
Huh. That was a McKnight. Let me go get the program, and maybe that would help.
Yeah, it's alarming how little you know about the things that you do. It really is. So, anyway, Edward's going to get the program, he said. So we can get to the bottom of that, I guess. Then we'll find out what is up with his streaming situation with his mother. Yeah, if it was Brian McKnight, but even, I don't know. Pete, would you? I like Brian McKnight. I don't know that I would go see Brian McKnight with my dad.
I'll show it on the thing.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, it's the same guy, yeah.
Okay.
A Gift of Love is the name of the concert that you went to?
Yeah, that's where we went to. Alliance Theater and the Hurt Stage.
Right.
Interesting, because you corrected us about you being Jewish and not celebrating Christmas, but yet you went to a Christmas concert.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Right. But
Edward, do you watch Christmas movies?
Yeah.
A little bit. I don't watch a full length. I mean, I might watch pieces of it, but.
So you've never seen like Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase?
He is hilarious. I will say that. If I've seen it, I probably watched like pieces of like bits and pieces.
You never seen Home Alone?
Oh, I have seen that. Yes.
Okay.
I've seen like all of them, I believe.
Okay. Have you ever seen Ebenezer Scrooge? The Christmas Carol.
There's like almost so many Christmas stuff out there. It's hard to know what I've seen. I know I've seen all the Home Alones.
Because they say he might be Jewish, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, that is possible.
So maybe you could get away with watching that.
Maybe.
Pretty sure Ebenezer is a Jewish name. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh.
So.
What about Bad Santa? You seen that?
No, that's one I'd like to see.
Yeah. That's a good one.
And Jingle All the Way is a pretty funny one.
Have you ever seen 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler? That's a Hanukkah movie.
Oh, 8 Crazy. It's one I'd like to see. I should see.
Have you ever seen any movie at all?
I've seen some.
Okay.
Well, we know he's seen some movies. I mean, he showed them on the air one night. That's what got us all.
Yeah, that's
that's
what
right.
got me all into the.
Those weren't
never
Christmas
show
movies.
nudity again.
Those weren't Christmas movies, though, were they, Edward?
What I should no.
No.
No, those are like you can't show those. Those are gonna be left alone. Stay where they are.
All right.
Yeah. Those movies don't end. I mean, just like Christmas movies, they do end with joy and happiness, though, don't they?
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, they do.
All right, Edward. So it's time to give us an update here. Now, since we had you on last,
The 12th.
which was 2 weeks ago.
The 12th.
It was 2 weeks ago. You said At that time, you were planning on streaming the following night, but instead of doing that, you streamed at like 1 in the afternoon for 15 minutes just to tell people that you changed your mind and you weren't going to stream at night because you couldn't take a chance of getting caught by your mom, and you were only able to stream for 15 minutes at 1 o'clock because your mom was out running errands.
Yeah.
But then I noticed that 5 days ago, you did stream at night for 4 hours and 15 minutes. So now that we're all caught up on your streaming over the last 2 weeks, what's the latest? Are you off restriction? Are you having to still stream behind your mom's back, or just what's going on with that?
That is an excellent question, Lou, and I will address that. The answer is I did work. Speaking of my mother, I'm glad you bring it up. I was able to work a deal out with her.
What, like
And
you do yard work or something, and then you get to stream, or what?
No, the deal is I am allowed to stream. I'm right now doing Tuesday nights. Right now, just Tuesday nights. I'm going to build to have my schedule like I did before. So it'll be Tuesday nights right now. I'll do a month. I know it's kind of I should be doing. Well, I know, but if I didn't agree to this, then I wouldn't be allowed to stream at all.
Yeah. So, but how did this come about? Like, what made your mom change her mind and allow you to start streaming again?
I just basically talked to her, and made a deal.
By talk, do you mean threaten?
No. I didn't threaten her at all.
Okay.
No.
Great, because we told her to make a deal.
Because
so
she
did
threatened
exactly what we
you,
told her.
though. She did threaten you.
Well, she was like all.
She threatened to kick you out of the house. I mean, that's threatening.
Yeah, but that's if I didn't follow. Like you said, there's always her house, her rules. So,
That's right.
So it's like, okay, all right, So now the deal is, I can stream, but like I said, I'm doing Tuesday nights, so I'll be doing a month, and then so I'll go to about, I guess the 19th or so. So I'll go 1 month, so like 4 weeks, 1 month there, and then I'll move to Saturday and do the same thing.
You'll move it from Tuesday to Saturday, or you mean you're going to start doing it twice a week?
Well, no, I'm going to do Tuesday for a month.
Yeah, we got that part.
Yeah.
Right? So after that month ends, I will go to Saturday. And then
Edward, listen to me. And if you don't answer this question in an understandable way, I'm kicking you off the show, okay? Listen to me. After you stream on Tuesday for a month, and you go into the second month, and you say you're streaming on Saturdays in the second month, does that mean Tuesday and Saturday, or you're changing from Tuesday to Saturday?
I'll be switching.
He's changing. He's just going to do here. Look, I speak Edward. He's allowed to stream once a week. That's what I'm getting out of this. So he's going to do it Tuesday 1 month, Saturday 1 month, then Tuesday 1 month, and Saturday 1 month. Is that right, Edward?
It'll be Tuesday 1 month. Then I'll go. And once that ends, Saturday will be 1 month.
That's what I just said.
Yes.
So is that just to confuse people, or
no?
What's the reasoning for that?
Well, because I can't. Because the thing is, remember when I told you I had those calls?
Yeah.
Thought I mentioned that to you guys. Well, because I don't want to. I can't go on streams where if wherever these calls came from, because if I'm going on a stream, there's a threat of call. Just say a call.
Edward, why are you changing from Tuesday to Saturday?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's what I'm asking you. Why are you changing it up after 1 month?
To see how things go.
So, but what if things are going good doing it every Tuesday? You're still going to change it?
Well, I'm coming. It's basically what I'm doing is I'm coming back gradually.
Yeah, that's not gradual. That's just changing the day.
Well,
are you going to be streaming twice a week or once a week?
Well, right now I'm doing once a week.
What about in the second month?
Like it said, and then when I do Saturday, I'll do it'll be Saturdays 1 month. And
So
then-
what's gradual about that? You're just streaming one day a week.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now, one day a week.
Well, when are you not doing that? You keep saying that's what I'm doing right now, like you're going to be doing something different later. Like, why do you keep saying right now that's what I'm doing? That's just what you're doing.
That's my schedule.
You're streaming one day a week.
Right.
But why are you changing the day again?
Well, it's because it's to find out, hopefully to investigate where these just to hopefully. Okay, let me slow down here. Let me think a minute. Let me do this right. That's what I need to do. Do this right. Okay. The reason is to hopefully to see how things go. See that to make sure we don't have any more problems.
Right, I get that, but if you don't have any problems, why would you change the day?
Well,
If you're streaming every Tuesday for a month and everything goes fine,
right,
why would you then change it to Saturday?
to see how it goes.
To see if
then.
hopefully it messes up if you do it on Saturday?
No, to see how it works out. You know, one day at a time.
I think I speak Edward. He's worried about the calls. That right, Edward?
Right.
So what difference does it make what day you're doing your stream on, whether or not the calls continue? I don't understand that line of thinking.
I want to make sure they stop.
So you think if you do it on a certain day, they'll stop?
So far, when I did stream that Tuesday, I just got back. So far, so good.
Yeah, I know. So why change it to Saturday?
Well, this is the deal that that my mother made with me. She said, "Okay, do it Tuesday. You know, see how it goes. If it works out, then then you can move Saturday and do a month there."
Well, that makes about as much sense as an air fryer. All right, Edward, you streamed all month every Tuesday and we didn't have any problems at all. So now you have to change to Saturday. That's basically what she's telling you, right?
You could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody made a good point. You probably have more viewers on Saturday than Tuesday based on the people that you have on there. I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
I mean, but I still don't understand. I understand that Lou's saying, yeah, you don't have any problems on Tuesday. You may as well stick with Tuesday. I mean, that does make sense. That's the logical thing to do. But I still don't understand what day of the week has to do with the phone calls. You think that people that make those phone calls only listen on every other day except for Tuesday?
I'm thinking whoever made those calls, I'm thinking probably don't like me.
So what does that got to do with the day of the week? This is what I'm trying to figure out.
Do they like you on certain days of the week?
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
thinking they only like you or don't like you on days that end in Y. What do you think about that?
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So if, maybe you could find a day of the week that doesn't end in Y and stream on that day.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. That would be very. All of them in the DIY.
Now, let me ask you this. Why can't you just go on other people's streams?
Well, I'm kind of limiting to. Well, I could go in the chat. I mean,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the
Like
type
on
of
panels?
streams that you do, like, I don't really know how to describe them, but like all the people that are on your stream and all the people that are watching your stream, it's like the same group of people that's on all of each other's streams. So couldn't you just go on one of their streams one day a week? Because they all stream too.
right.
It's just a group of like 10 people that they just post a StreamYard link, 10 people join, and it's just 10 people talking. Couldn't that be done on any channel? So couldn't you just go on click the StreamYard link on their channel and just avoid the whole streaming on your channel thing altogether?
That's a good point.
When you were on restriction from streaming, were you allowed to go on other people's streams, or did your mom tell you couldn't do that either?
She wasn't really allowing me to really. She basically told me, like, yeah, don't go on others. This is what the Popo said. She's going by that. Because they took a visit here thinking someone called them. They came here.
The police came out.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Likely I wasn't in cuffs, which is good.
He just said that the Popo are watching his streams. Are they watching this one, Edward?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, we don't need those problems over here.
No.
We're not doing nothing wrong.
No.
We're just trying to get to the bottom. Actually, we're doing their job for them, aren't we, Lou? Trying to figure this thing out.
That's all we're doing. We're
I'd love
citizen
to know.
detectives
I'm
here.
wondering if the crack investigation staff has found anything.
Yeah, it's not likely because they're not having cooperation from people.
Anyone.
Like, they're asking people basic questions, but those people aren't able to answer them in a coherent way. So the investigative staff is hitting a brick wall because people are incapable of answering even the simplest of questions. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. It's weird.
It is very weird because I think I sent you an email about that. But
Which is also weird.
yes.
Well,
I'm not sure we accomplished anything here.
Maybe all these phone calls was just to mess with my head here. Just screw with it.
maybe you weren't even the target, Edward. Maybe your mother was the target the whole time.
If that's the case, that would be.
Does your mother have any enemies that you know of?
I don't think she. That would be a tragedy if she does. I'm hoping not.
Yeah, you should ask her next time you see her, which is like every day. But you should ask her. Well, just run it by her, because maybe it might be something she hadn't thought of. But you should run this by her. Like the next time you talk to your mom, like tomorrow, you say, "Mom, those phone calls. Do you think maybe they were calling because of you? Like maybe it didn't have anything to do with you. Maybe it's all your mom's fault." Run that by your.
Oh, you shouldn't be on this person's stream. Get off that.
I'm just saying, run that by your mom, and then next Monday when you come on, let us know what she says about that. Suggest to your mom that it might be her fault.
Yeah. Does your mom watch YouTube?
Not really.
You sure?
Well, that's probably making them mad. They're probably mad that she's not watching.
Yeah.
It might be your mom's fault, Edward. I think you should suggest it to her that maybe it's her fault.
Well, if I were to suggest that, I really don't want to get her, how do I say this, upset.
Yeah, well, it's not so much trying to get her upset as it is trying to get her to maybe open her mind to other possibilities, because it's just dead end after dead end. But I think it's because we've been considering the wrong motive this entire time. We've assumed that the motive was to bother you, right? What if that hasn't been the motive at all?
You make another good point. The only thing I was thinking motive could be people not liking me.
Yeah, I know that's what we've all been thinking, but it could be the whole time it didn't have anything at all to do with you.
Yeah, you're the red herring, Edward.
Here's the facts that we know. Someone's been calling your house, making prank calls. That's what we know as a fact, right?
Yeah.
But you're not the only one that lives there.
Right.
Your mom lives there.
Yes.
So it seems to me just as likely that they're calling to harass her, not you. So maybe she needs to take a month off from doing something that she normally does. Like you had to take a month off from streaming. Maybe she needs to take a month off from something. What is it that she likes to do? Does she do bingo or anything like this?
No,
Golf?
no.
Bridge or pinochle?
I haven't seen her do anything. She's basically my mom like makes calls for my father for certain things. I mean, she does things around the house. Nothing.
But she's not like involved in any social clubs or like has like a group of people she eats lunch
like a
with
book
once
club.
a week or anything like that.
I mean, she might once in a blue moon go out to lunch with some friends of hers. But that's about it.
well, okay. Well, not anymore. She's not for 1 month. And we'll see if that fixes the problem.
Yeah, I mean, even I'm trying to, put my head together and, say, okay, what caused this?
Yeah.
Maybe she went out to lunch and she stiffed the waiter and he got mad at her. Like she didn't tip good enough or something. You never know, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like we're all trying to wrap our head around this.
That's what I mean. We can't rule anything out, is what I'm saying. And all the focus has been on you, like it's somehow your fault this is happening, and I don't think that's fair. When it could easily have been your mother's fault.
As I say, unfair and unacceptable.
Yeah. So.
Maybe it's the Miami Hurricanes' fault because they're running around talking about their 5 national titles all the time.
Maybe.
Well, I got some new material on Miami.
Are you wanting to trash talk somebody today?
Hopefully, I'd love to, because I got some new material for Miami that I don't think I've ever used.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
See if that maybe helps things.
You got anybody that's in a bowl game actually?
What about you're a Florida State fan? You're a Florida State fan. You don't have anything for Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Oh, Oklahoma.
I mean, Florida State is playing Oklahoma. I mean,
Oklahoma playing Florida State in the Cheez-It Bowl.
Right.
So let's see. Oklahoma. What can I say about them that they got Florida State?
Well, at least Brent Venables is familiar with the Cheez-It Bowl from his time at Clemson.
Yes. Yeah, Brent Venables.
Pete?
Yeah, he's undefeated in the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah.
You have to worry about that, Edward.
Oh, yeah. So I guess I should be clowning Oklahoma for getting us, or,
Oh, also, this is totally unrelated, but I don't want to spend any time on it at all. I just want to mention it and then move right along with what we're already doing. But the thought occurred to me earlier, and so I did want to mention it, that Wednesday has long been referred to as Hump Day.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Edward.
All right. But yeah, if you want, I could clown, like, let's see. I could clown Miami just for, not making a bowl game and add other new material saying, if that's okay.
If what do you want to do now?
I was going to say, I did have new material for Miami Hurricanes that I could clown.
I'm going to go ahead and call you a liar. I'm going to let you do the Miami thing, but I don't think there's going to be any new material in it.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
What's wrong, Edward?
All right. Viewer discretion is advised, parental advisory. If there's anybody here on the panel or in the StreamYard that needs to go to the restroom or get water, please do so at this time. Anyone? No? Really? Okay. Well, you have been warned. So buckle your seatbelts. This is going to be a bumpy ride. All right. Well, Miami Hurricanes, 19 years in the ACC. Still can't win it. And you even got Super Mario as your coach. Has he won you a national yet? No. Has he won you the ACC yet? No. Of course not. Because you're rotating coaches every 2 to 3 years. Okay. Oh, yeah. Here's a bowl game that you did make. It's called the Toilet Bowl, Miami. That's what you're in. The Toilet Bowl. Yeah? That's you. Toilet Bowl. Oh, yeah, Miami, let me tell you something. You run around with your 5 natties? Oh, well, let me ask you something, Miami. When was the last time you saw Florida State running around talking about their national titles? Well, last time I heard about it was 2013. Hey, why is that? Florida State is good today, and they're in the Cheez-It Bowl. Miami, you're in the toilet bowl. Ugh. So you'll just be flushed down the toilet all day, Miami. Okay, so here's another thing, Miami. What's something else? How many SEC SKUs have you beaten? Oh, I'll answer that one for you. Take a look. Take a look. None! You have not beaten one single SEC team. But Florida State, go all the way back. Florida State's beaten 7 of them. Oh, yes, 7 of them. Of course, Alabama being 1, Georgia, but that was way back then. Not saying now, but back then. Georgia, basically, you could say, like, oh, I don't know, own the SEC. Yeah, Florida State did back then. They were dominant then. I mean, look who they beat. You got, well, this is it, Georgia, Alabama. Then they beat Kentucky, South Carolina. How about Florida, LSU, and then Auburn? Yeah, that was back 2013. At least that's recent than your dumb 5 natties that you love to run around Miami. Here you go. Whee! Whee! Yeah, who cares, Miami? Run around your stupid 5 national titles. No wonder why y'all love to go to those strip clubs and stay to 5 in the morning. Blue Flame Lounge. Here, there's, you see, they have a flame right there. Those girls smack your face for 12 hours and your face turns blue. That's what happens to you, Miami. You stay there to 4 or 5 in the morning. That's what's going to happen to you. Oh, yeah. And then here's another thing, Miami, that you do. You run around, Bible in one hand, and a slut in the other. That's it. That's even worse. My God. No wonder why you love to talk about your 5 natties. Miami, let me tell you, you know what you are, Miami? You garbage. Oh, my God.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, my God. Look at, you see Miami in here? Do you see him in here? Miami, guess I have Miami. You garbage. Miami, maybe now you need, Miami, if you started concentrating on football, winning games, and get you a coach, stop rotating coaches every 2 to 3 years, and you can hopefully win games. But hey, you want to keep running around the Bible in one hand, slut in the other, thinking you're going to win games? Go ahead and do it, you stupid pricks, because it ain't going to get you anything. I mean, Miami, you know why you run around with your 5 nannies and you stay at strip clubs till 4 in the morning, get smacked around by the girls until your face turns blue? You want to know why, Miami? I'm going to tell you the answer. It's because you suck today. That's why. You suck today. Okay? Why don't you just go to the Ivy League? Maybe all 4 of the Ivy League teams like Princeton, Pennsylvania, Harvard, Yale, who have a combined total of 71 national titles, each one beats you and says, welcome to the Ivy League, boys. This is what you get. You know? Hell, or maybe just go independent or freaking Mountain West. I mean, my God, Miami, you suck today. All right? You do the same song and dance every single year. You need to just go independent, you know? Or hell, go back to the Big East. Oh wait, Big East is gone. She can't go there. So you obviously suck, Miami. Miami, you suck today. That's the bottom line because I said so, you stupid pricks.
Wow.
I don't know if y'all can hear it, but his mom's yelling at him. That's why he just walked. He just walked out of the room. He's getting yelled at.
His sweatshirt.
What did it say?
Publix.
Oh,
he's getting yelled at. Listen, you can hear.
yeah, I'm trying to hear.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Miami, you suck today.
What happened?
Oh no, this my mother's just reminding me some things. It's nothing to do with you guys. Y'all are cool. No.
I think
Hey, do you ever think about closing that door so they can't hear you throwing that trash can?
That's
on?
a good idea.
Yeah, of course it is. The only kind I have, Edward.
Yes, that's what I should do.
it seemed like she was yelling at you. We could kind of hear it a little.
No, she was just reminding me, like, certain things I have to do at the house. That's all. Like check, make sure everything's all right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was yelling at you. We heard it.
Well, it wasn't for me doing this, thank God.
Okay.
So,
Oh. Can you throw the trash can around some more?
well,
Hold on.
I only do it usually one time for a trash talk.
Can you just show it to us? Because I'm telling you, this thing. Show us the trash can, Edward. It's starting to look like one of those,
with the trash in it or not?
You ever play kick the can when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, the can gets all banged up over time and dented. Yeah, that's what this thing's starting to look like here. Look at this thing. Show us the top of it. Show us the top of it. Turn it over like you show us, like you're showing. Yeah. First of all, what's in there?
Oh, it's garbage in there. Sorry.
No, show us the top of it.
Can you throw it again?
Oh, sure, I guess. All right, well, that's what you guys are. Nothing but garbage. You're not big
Oh, we're going to hell, dude.
Is one of the things she was telling you to do is to empty that trash can?
Yeah.
'Cause that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I think it was full.
That way you don't have to empty it,
Right.
throw it, and then fill it back up
Empty
again.
this trash on out of this. That's
Yeah.
what I need to do. Ugh. Totally. Ugh. So. There we go. But yeah, like I said, over the holiday, I read a couple of my graphic novels. Batman, of course, I'm a fan. I know your son's a fan. I think he is, but I don't know if he's like into the. Oh yeah, you already said he doesn't collect the graphic novels. That's right.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I told you there was a little new material I threw into Miami, like I said.
That was something, Edward.
Thank you. I still got it in me.
All right.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Before we let you go, you're still not coming to the Slob Olympics, right?
Well, I'll have to see. I mean, it's a long ways away. Have to,
Yeah.
I was hoping, maybe. I know you got you still doing that. What's that? What's it called? Oh, the Lou Tube's Got Talent. I know you're still doing that. I know not, but I know when it around June. I know you usually do that.
June. Yeah.
Yeah. Still doing that.
Yeah. Do you think would it be okay if I did like through a like a StreamYard wise did it that way on my channel, or I can't do that?
You can upload something to your channel for the talent show. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking if I could do it through like how I do like I was streaming or something.
I don't care how you do it. If it's on your channel, I can show it on the talent show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask if that was okay, because I didn't want to just do it and then hey Lou.
When we do the talent show, there's an email address, and all you would have to do is email me the link to that video. That's it.
Okay.
That's all you got to do.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you better win the talent show if you're preparing this far in advance. It's not even 2023 yet.
This is
You're
like
already
7
preparing for
months
the
away.
talent show.
Coming up with some ideas here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lou, you still planning on celebrating 4th of July next year?
Yes.
All right, good. Just making sure.
Yeah. Yes. No, there's nothing wrong with being prepared, Edward, for your talent show audition.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got plenty of time, though. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I wanted to, ask and see if it was okay to go through a StreamYard and do it that way.
Right.
Be on my channel.
No, yeah, that's fine. Lots of people
I like
do it that way.
I want to do it right, because
StreamYard's got nothing to do with it. If there's a video on your channel that you want to submit to the talent show, you can do that. That's how most people submit their videos to the talent show.
Okay. All right. I just want to make, clear and ask.
Right. All right, Edward. Well, don't forget, mention to your mom the possibility that this all could be her fault, and we'll talk to you next Monday.
You got 10 o'clock, right?
Yes, sir.
You got it. Thank you for having me on, Lou and Pete. And I want to say, dang, it feels good to be back.
All right, buddy. Happy New Year.
Happy
Yeah,
New
we'll see you
Year
on
to you.
Tuesday, then Saturday, then Tuesday, then Saturday.
Right. Yep. Bye, Edward. There you go. Edward the trash talker. You only get that type of entertainment here on the Lunch Money Show. That's it. So
Is there still people in here? Oh yeah, we still got some people in here. That's
yeah,
good.
somehow managed to keep 189 people in here. None of them have hit the thumbs up though, but that's okay. That's okay. We're actually going to talk some football now, so maybe they'll hit the thumbs up if we start talking some football. All right, first we'll look at the schedule of games that's coming up this week. Let me put that up for you. All right, here we go. We had one today, New Mexico State and Bowling Green. I know y'all watched it, so you already know New Mexico State won 24-19. So there you go. And now starting tomorrow, we've got at least decent games every single day of the week through Saturday. Tomorrow, the games start at noon with Georgia Southern and Buffalo in the Camellia Bowl, Memphis and Utah State in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, Coastal Carolina at East Carolina in the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, and Wisconsin, Oklahoma State in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. That game's at 10:15, so just a brief announcement from me. I will still be doing the call-in show tomorrow night. We'll start the call-in show around 9 o'clock. When this Wisconsin-Oklahoma game or Wisconsin-Oklahoma State game starts, I will turn that game on in here, and at some point we will end the call-in part of the show, but I'm going to stay live through the end of the Wisconsin-Oklahoma State game, unless for some reason it's just like a 40-point game in the second half or something. But if it's an interesting game at all, I'm going to stay live after the phone calls tomorrow night through the end of that Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Those are the games tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we've got Central Florida at Duke, 2 p.m. on ESPN. Kansas versus Central Florida and Duke, that's the Military Bowl. Kansas and Arkansas, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, 5:30 on ESPN. So on Wednesday, which is a day I normally don't have any live shows at all, I will be going live at 5:30 for the Kansas-Arkansas game. And I am going to stream through the end of these other two games. So Oregon and North Carolina in the Holiday Bowl at 8, and Texas Tech Ole Miss in the Texas Bowl at 9. So I'll start live streaming at 5:30, and I'll go till midnight or whenever that Ole Miss game ends. Thursday, Syracuse and Minnesota in the Pinstripe Bowl. Oklahoma and Florida State in the Cheez-It Bowl at 5:30. So I will start streaming Thursday at 5:30. Texas and Washington in the Alamo Bowl at 9. So I'll be streaming from 5:30 again till about midnight for both of those games on Thursday. Friday, Maryland and NC State at noon on ESPN in the Duke's Mayonnaise Bowl. Pittsburgh and UCLA in the Sun Bowl at 2. Notre Dame and South Carolina at 3:30. So I will start streaming Friday at 3:30 for the Notre Dame-South Carolina game, and I will stream through the end of the Tennessee-Clemson game, the Orange Bowl. So 3:30 till about midnight on Friday. Saturday, Alabama at Kansas State noon. That's the Sugar Bowl. Iowa and Kentucky in the Music City Bowl at noon. I will start streaming at 4 o'clock for TCU and Michigan. That stream will be on YouTube, as will the rest of the streams I've already mentioned. We'll stream the first playoff game, TCU and Michigan, right here on this channel, 4 o'clock on Saturday. 8 o'clock, the Peach Bowl, the second playoff game, Ohio State and Georgia. I will be streaming that on the Patreon page. So everybody that's already on Patreon, y'all know how that works. I'll post a link on the Patreon page around 7:45. You just click the link, it takes you to the live stream. If you're not on the Patreon page and you want to hang out and watch Georgia versus Ohio State, make sure you get signed up before Saturday and come hang out and watch the playoff game. So that's my streaming schedule and the games schedule for the rest of this week. Pete, do you have a different streaming schedule that you want to mention for any of these games?
Yeah, I'm not going to go through it game by game like you did. The best thing I can tell people, I'm doing some streams just private for the members of the channel and some public. Just pay attention to my community page. I'm going to post my streaming schedule on there. And so I know there's at least 4 games right now that I'm doing, but I'll be adding some towards the end of the week. Now, clearly, Clemson and Tennessee Orange Bowl, Friday night at 8 p.m. Yeah, I'm foregoing my call-in show for that. My call-in show usually happens on Friday nights at 10 p.m. So I'll start that stream around 7:45, and I'll stream to the end of the game. And maybe I might hang out afterwards and take some calls if that's the way that goes. But as for the rest of them, just pay attention to the channel, and I'll let everyone know what I'm doing.
Are you going to be doing the Clemson Tennessee game for anyone that wants to watch, or is that
that's
one of the
gonna be
member
public.
ones? Okay, so anybody can come watch that one. Okay, good.
Yes.
All right, yeah, that's going to be a good game. We're getting ready to look at all the odds, over-unders, all that kind of thing on the games coming up. There's more games beyond the playoffs. I stopped a little short, but I mentioned earlier the playoffs are on Saturday, New Year's Eve. So there are no games on Sunday, New Year's Day, because that's the NFL day. So the rest of the bowl games that normally you would see on New Year's Day have been pushed back to Monday, January 2nd. So after the playoff games are played on Saturday, that following Monday, we'll have Mississippi State and Illinois at noon. That's the ReliaQuest Bowl. Tulane and Southern Cal, which I'm actually excited about this. I think this could be a good game. I think Tulane can beat them. I think it's going to be a good. I'm not predicting that right now. We'll get to predictions in a little while, but I think that'll be a good game. That's the Cotton Bowl, 1 o'clock on ESPN. Then you've got LSU and Purdue in the Citrus Bowl, 1 o'clock on ABC. And then
who?
LSU and Purdue.
Look down in the bayou.
Yeah.
Yes, LSU. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, that's not Notre Dame.
Same difference.
Yeah. And then the Rose Bowl at 5 o'clock, Monday, January 2nd, Penn State and Utah. So I'll probably stream from like 1 o'clock through the end of the Rose Bowl that day. And then we've got the national title game on Monday, January 9th. I'll be live streaming that game publicly on YouTube, no matter who's in it. So whether Georgia wins or loses, whether Georgia's playing in that game or not, I'll be live streaming the national title game Monday, January 9th. 7:30. So there you go. That's the rest of the bowl schedule, the rest of the entire college football schedule, actually, for the 2022 season. And then I guess we'll officially be in what some people refer to as the off season. We'll have another signing day coming up in February. So a few weeks after the national title game is played, you have what used to be the only signing day. Now it's like late signing day. So that'll give us something to talk about for, a week or so in February. And then a lot of teams start their, some teams start spring practice toward the end of February. Most teams start spring practice in March. So you'll have signing day in February, spring practice in March, spring practice and spring games in April. And then after the spring games are played, there's another 15-day window for people to enter the transfer portal. So I'm not sure, because they change it all the time, so I'm not sure how many people understand how this is working right now. So you can enter the transfer portal now through January 15th. After January 15th, if you're not in the portal, you can't enter the portal until the middle of April. And then you'll have 15 days from the middle of April to the end of April to enter the portal again. If you don't enter the portal during that second window in April, then you cannot transfer and play next season. You have to sit out. You can't transfer, basically. You're stuck on whatever team you're on at that point, basically, is what that means. So we'll have the transfer stuff to talk about through the end of April. May's probably, would you agree May's probably the worst month, Pete, for football, college football stuff? There's really
there's nothing going on. Any news is bad news in May.
Right. Some people call that a rest season.
Yeah, exactly.
May and June. In June is when a lot of schools start to do like summer workouts. So you're not allowed to have actual practices, but some of the kids will start to show up on campus and do like unsupervised drills, summer workouts, that kind of thing. In July, you have media days, and that's sort of the official start. What people consider to be the official start of the next season is when media days kicks off in the middle of July. And then after that, of course, you've got practice, fall camp, and then the games starting at the end of August. So another reason why I really think college football needs to try to do a better job of spreading out some of their schedule. Not the game schedule. I mean, everything else. Like maybe some of the stuff that's going on now maybe needs to be everything pushed back a little, maybe, or something. I don't know. But there's too much dead time, I think, in May and June. It seems like they could change some stuff around, give us something to talk about. Who knows? Like May and June this past 2 years have been two of the most the expansion shit. That's when all the expansion kind of stuff has blown up. The last 2 off seasons has been May and June. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some more of that kind of stuff this off season.
Yeah, God willing. I mean, some people build their entire channels off of that.
Right? They're banking on it, literally banking on it.
Hey, I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So we'll see. So that's kind of the college football schedule all the way up until the start of next season. So there you go.
And all of that, we do have the Slav Olympics in March to keep you busy.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention the non-football stuff, but yeah, of course, Slav Olympics coming up in March, and let's we'll run through the odds and stuff and give some picks for some of these games, and then at the last 20 or 30 minutes, whatever, how much time we have, we'll get into some more Slav Olympics stuff. But yeah, Slav Olympics coming up in March. I think Raj is planning on putting together some type of softball thing again in June or July. So there's that. And of course, like Edward mentioned, the world famous YouTube's Got Talent show that happens on my morning show every summer. So plenty to keep you busy.
Even when things are looking bleak in college football, will keep you entertained.
Yeah.
So one way or another.
Yeah. And by entertained, what we mean is we'll do really silly shit that's entertaining to us.
Yeah, so you can laugh at us.
Yeah, whether you're entertained by it or not, we don't really have any idea. But me and Pete will be entertained by what we do. That we know. I entertain myself almost every single day. So there's that.
Me too. Do we talk about the college football playoff or college basketball playoffs? What's that? You mean the tournament? Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we did something for that last year. I don't remember exactly. I don't remember if we did one of those a pick'em challenge, or we did something though.
Yeah, we did some kind of contest, and I think we gave away something. I don't even remember what we did, but yeah, we'll do something. I mean, of course, during the tournament, we'll talk about it.
I think you're kind of like me, Pete. I can probably count on one hand the number of times I'll sit down to watch regular season college basketball, but I do love the NCAA tournament. It is, especially those first 2 weekends when there's basically like 3 games on at a time from 11 in the morning to midnight, like Thursday through Sunday, those first 2 weeks. I mean, that is exciting sports. Yeah,
for me, whenever, things are kind of a dead period for football, if Clemson's playing somebody in the ACC or something, I'll sit down and watch it. But I really start paying attention during the conference championship tournaments.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once you get into the actual tournament.
Yeah, I do like the NCAA tournament. I'm by no means a huge college basketball fan, and however much you think I know about college football, divide that in half, then divide it in half again, then divide it in half again. That's how much I know about college basketball, but I do enjoy watching the NCAA tournament. So I'm sure we'll talk some about that in February, March, and April when that's on.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's fun. I'm by definition a casual college basketball or any kind of basketball fan for that matter. But
yeah. So yeah, we'll talk some about that for sure. All right, let's look at the odds for these playoff games. Let's see. I'll put it up on the screen here. College football. Here we go. I'm only going to talk about the games that are interesting to me. We'll go back and forth, Pete. I'll pick one, you pick one. We'll just go do it that way. But so I'm going to start with Oklahoma State and Wisconsin. Wisconsin is one of these teams that technically has no coach for the bowl game. I mean, I know they have an interim coach, but I mean, even though Luke Fickell has been hired to be their coach, he's not coaching the bowl game. Oklahoma State has a coach, but completely nosedived the second half of the season, which was unusual to see from them. I know they seem to have a ceiling, even in their good years, but rarely do they have a year like they had this year where it just the last half of the season is just like they can't even win a game. I mean, it was bad. Rarely seen them play that bad under Gundy, to the point where some rumors even got started that maybe he had secretly taken another job. Maybe he had pulled like a Lincoln Riley type of deal and was looking to get out of there, but he's still there. So he'll be coaching Oklahoma State against Wisconsin. And I'm going to take Oklahoma State in this one. Wisconsin's quarterback, who's not any good, has transferred out. But if he's not any good, what does that tell you about the back? I'm talking about Graham Mertz. If he's not any good, what does that tell you about the backup? So I don't know. I just feel like Oklahoma State has a coach. They're a more coherent team right now than Wisconsin is. I'm going to take Oklahoma State. Not real sure why they're an underdog here. I know they got players sitting out, but I'm going to take Oklahoma State to win outright. They're a 3.5-point underdog.
Wow. Actually, I'm going to agree with you there. I was wanting to not agree with you, but the over-under at 45, you know how I feel about this. Now, a lot of the bowl games this year in the lower tier bowl games have gone under. There's been a problem with scoring. But most of those haven't been Big 12 teams. So with Mike Gundy at the helm, I understand Wisconsin's probably not going to score a lot of points in this, which is why you picked them to lose and probably why I'm picking them to lose. But I'm still going to go over 45 here. But yeah, I'm with you. I like the Pokes at plus 3.5. I'm not going to take them to win outright. I'll take the points.
All right. And now, which one you want to talk about now?
First year head coach at Duke against the Fighting Gus Malzahn's, and Duke is favored.
We lost Pete. Okay, he's back. We lost you for a second.
Did we lose Lou?
No, we lost you for a second.
I hear you now, I think.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Oh, you couldn't hear me? Oh.
We hear you now.
Okay. What was the last thing you heard me say? Or did you hear me say anything?
Duke versus Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, Mike Elko and Duke. Mike Elko, first-year head coach, taking over from a legend, and they put together a hell of a season. I think we had Duke. I say we. I'm talking about the ACC show people, the panel. I think we had Duke winning 3 games. Literally nobody thought they would win 6 games, make a bowl game. Playing against Gus Malzahn's and the Fighting UCF team. And I can't believe they're favored in this game. 3.5 points. Look at the over-under on that, dude. 62.5.
Yeah, that's a big one, even for college.
Yeah. But I'm going to actually take Duke here. I don't know if you know this, Luke. ACC undefeated in bowl games.
Yeah. And SEC winless.
Yeah, winless. That's the next game we'll talk about.
Shame.
But I'm actually, I'm not real confident in my pick there. I think this would be a good game. This might actually be one of the better games that day. But I usually take the over in bowl games. But I'm going to take, that's a lot of points, 62.5. Give me the under in that. Now, I know there's probably two high-flying offenses, and neither team has much defense. That's still too many points for me, 62.5. Give me the under.
I don't know much about these teams, but I'm going to take Central Florida. But I want the points in this one. They might win outright. I don't know, but I'm going to take Central Florida and the points. I don't trust the Dukies. So regardless of the ACC's bowl record, I still think the ACC was terrible this year. So I'll take Central Florida. Kansas and Arkansas. I made a video about this game earlier, so if you watched that, you already know where I'm going here. I like Kansas to win this game outright. Bowl games, even before opt-outs were a thing, a lot of these lower to mid-tier bowl games were as much about motivation as they were team talent or coaching or anything else. Which team considers themselves lucky to be in the bowl game they're in, and which team is kind of, looking down on the bowl game like, my God, I can't believe we're stuck in this game type of deal. Kansas hasn't made a bowl game in forever. Arkansas had a disappointing season based on the expectations after the last 2 years they had. Arkansas also has 23 players that have already entered the transfer portal. Another couple of players that are not playing in this game to enter the draft. Drew Sanders, who's probably their best defensive player, is not playing, entering the draft. I just think Kansas will be more motivated. I think their original starting quarterback from the season, I believe, is back and healthy now too. I like Kansas to win this game outright over Arkansas. The SEC starts 0-3 in bowl games.
I'm already seeing stuff in the chat. I mean, look, it'd be one thing if it was Alabama playing Kansas. Arkansas has no reason to run around talking about they don't care about a bowl game. That's ridiculous. I'm taking Arkansas to win this game as the favorite, but to pretend like they don't care about this game is just and the same. So who just said that? Mizzou had landlord. Mizzou was missing 7 starters. Okay, I mean, every team's missing 7 starters in bowl season. I'll take Arkansas to win this and give the SEC their first win. I think Arkansas wins by 7.
Yeah, I think if Arkansas wins the game, I mean, I do think Arkansas will have a big advantage along the lines of scrimmage, but I don't know. My gut tells me Kansas pull. Now, part of this is, even though I'm an SEC homer, so my inclination is to pull for the SEC in these games. It wouldn't hurt my feelings to see Kansas get a bowl win. Like, I don't know, it's just a good story. So I'll go with Kansas. All right,
how many bowl wins does Arkansas have in the past 10 years?
Oh, I have no idea.
Not many.
Yeah, not many.
More
than Kansas.
North Carolina, Oregon. This is a great one here because neither one of these teams have quitters for quarterbacks. Bo Nix playing, right? As far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May playing, as far as I know. Both of them coming back for their, Bo Nix coming back for his final year, but Drake May deciding not to transfer. I can't believe this is minus 14. Give me the heels with the points. This is way too. Look at the over under in that 75. God Almighty, yeah, 2 terrible defenses. So maybe that's the reason why. But I still like North Carolina. I think this would be a shootout. I would probably pick Oregon to win this game outright, but I think 14 is too much with this North Carolina offense and Drake May. So I say it's going to be less than a touchdown that wins this game. So Oregon by 5 or 6.
Yeah, my initial thoughts on this game was the same thing, that 14 seems a little high. I do think Oregon will win the game. But why has North Carolina's entire defense entered the transfer portal? I'm seriously asking. Do you know? I don't know. But
that might be a good thing.
It's a crazy number. Terrible. They are terrible. Some of them are probably going to end up with no place to go. I mean, a few of them will, like that Tony Grimes. He was a 5-star coming out of high school, corner. He hasn't been great at North Carolina, but he'll end up somewhere, I'm sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon blew them out. 14 points does seem like a lot.
Oregon's got some of their key players on defense.
They've got some transfers, too. I think it's Justin Flo is transferring and not playing, so they've got some defensive issues, too. I'm going to take Oregon just because you took North Carolina. I wouldn't bet Oregon. I'm not going to bet on this game either way, but betting on games would opt out is crazy.
It's crazy.
But since you took North Carolina, I'll take Oregon. But this is an interesting game. I mean, I do like that at least both quarterbacks are playing. I do like that. What do you think about Bo Nix coming back? Actually, I've got a question for you about both quarterbacks. What do you think about Bo Nix coming back? And then I want to get into the Drake May was offered $5 million thing. But because I have some strong opinions on that. But what do you think about Bo Nix deciding to come back? Look, Bo Nix was not a great quarterback at Auburn. He was okay at times, but I ragged on Bo Nix a lot during his 3 years at Auburn. But the reality is he had an amazing year this year. I don't know that he can repeat that. I'm kind of surprised he didn't just say, you know what, the chances of me having a better year next year, probably not very high. Maybe I should just take my chances now. But I was a little surprised he's coming back. It's great news for Oregon, obviously, that he's coming back. But what'd you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like that maybe he feels like if he puts together 2 back-to-back seasons that are great, it'll greatly raise his draft stock, which it would. And I also feel like he honestly feels like he's in the Heisman running. I mean, if you see, and I know this is way, 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 way too early Heisman projections, he's near the top, and he probably sees that. So I think that's probably why he's coming back. And maybe, you know what? Maybe Bo Nix is actually being honest with himself, and he knows he's not ready for the NFL yet, which would be amazing because most players think they're ready before they are.
Right.
So
Right. And I do think he'll be at or near the top of like whoever puts out any preseason Heisman lists. I think you're going to see obviously Caleb Williams on it, but then you're going to see both of these quarterbacks, I think, on there too. I think you're going to see the top 3 on a lot of Heisman lists this offseason are going to be Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Bo Nix.
Yeah. I can respect it. He's betting on himself, and sometimes that pays off and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see what happens with him. I think Oregon's going to be pretty good next year, despite all the people that are leaving. They got a bunch of good guys coming in. I know they're true freshmen, but that the Pac-12 is a fluid league.
Yeah,
I mean, people moving in and out.
Look at all the first-year head coaches this year. It's hard to find many that did better than Dan Lanning at Oregon. I mean, there's the obvious example of Sonny Dykes at TCU, who's undefeated in the playoffs, but, Mario Cristobal, crash and burn. Brent Venables, crash and burn. The list goes on. Dan Lanning had a good first year at Oregon. It started off bad. They got absolutely destroyed in that game against Georgia. They just got overwhelmed from the very beginning of that game. But from that point on, they played pretty good football. They took a loss late in the year that they probably shouldn't have taken. But overall, it's a good year for Oregon, all things considered, with a first-year head coach, new starter at quarterback, Bo Nix transferring from Auburn. So, yeah, I think they'll be pretty good next year too. Now, with Drake May, here's my thing. Obviously, there should be no tampering. You shouldn't be calling players who are currently enrolled at another school. You should wait for them to go in the portal. Yada, blah, 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 blah. I get all that. But my issue is this. It's like these unnamed sources in news stories or political stories or whatever. If you're Pat Narduzzi or fill in the blank coach and you've got the balls to come out and say, I know for a fact this happened and this is who did it, then say it. Then say it. Quit dipping your toes. Quit being a pussy. You're scared of this coach?
Yeah.
You're scared of whoever it is that you're claiming offered Drake May. And why is Pat Narduzzi, the head coach of Pitt, white knighting for the quarterback of North Carolina? What business of it really? Like, it should be Mac Brown out there crying if anyone's going to be out there. But don't come out and tell me, I know this guy was offered $5 million. I know which teams did it. I know which coaches on the team called him and offered it to him, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. Well, then I don't fucking believe you.
Yeah.
I don't believe you then. So, and then Mac Brown comes out and says, and don't ask Drake May about it.
Yeah.
He's uncomfortable talking about it. No. Is he signing the back of an NIL check? I'll ask him whatever I want to ask him, dummy.
They did the whole good cop, bad cop thing, right? First, Mac Brown came out and said there's people tampering with Drake May. He didn't give really any examples. And then, like you said, Pat Narduzzi comes out after that and goes, well, I talked to Mac, and he's got several offers of $5 million or more, and we know who it is, but we're not going to tell you who it is. Look, I'm with you. I've already been bitching about this. If you don't want to get into it, then don't get into it. Don't bring it up.
Right.
It's actually kind of embarrassing, but I don't doubt that they're telling the truth. But what do you have? Let me ask you this. Pat Narduzzi is one thing. If you're Mac Brown, you are, I don't know, what's he, like almost 60 years old?
He's older than that. He's in his 70s.
Okay. You're at the twilight of your career. You're a Hall of Fame coach. Like, you're not going to be at North Carolina that much longer. Because this is the pushback I get from people. Oh, he doesn't want to make waves. He doesn't want to burn bridges. Burn bridges with who? He is the bridge. Like, is there anybody like how many coaches on the pantheon are above Mac Brown? There's not that many.
Right.
And most of those guys are like him, national championship winners who he's not going to ever work with anyway. So what bridge is he burning? If it were me, I would out. If I had Mac Brown status, I would out everybody. If he's telling the truth, this has done this.
Yeah.
That would stop it. That would stop it better than anything else would.
Yeah.
Or at least deter people from wanting to do it.
Going back to last offseason with the Nick Saban versus Jimbo Fisher thing, I didn't think that Nick Saban needed to sort of get down in the muck with that, but at least he named them. He didn't just say some anonymous school. He said it straight up. Texas A&M bought their recruiting class. He didn't say, I know some team somewhere, but like there was no doubt who he was talking about. He straight up named him. Travis Hunter. People have strong opinions one way or the other about Travis Hunter. I get that. He says, I was contacted before I ever entered the portal by Florida State. So at least he comes out and names them. Now, people can make up their own mind whether you believe Travis Hunter or don't, but at least he's coming out and telling you, I was tampered with and this is who did it. Not just getting in front of a microphone and saying, I know for a fact Drake May was offered $5 million. I know what team did it and what coach on that team did it, but guess what? I'm not going to tell you. Well, then I don't believe you. Tell us who it is.
I love Mac Brown, too. I really do. He's one of my favorite coaches. And somebody made the point, if Mac Brown really cared about Drake May and somebody offered him $5 million to come play for them, he should have helped him pack his bags. I mean, that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the very least, man, it just, it's either put up or shut up. Don't cry about people tampering and then not tell us who it is. Oh, that's just weird. I don't understand where they're coming from with that. But
I mean, no one is happy with the way that NIL and the transfer portal and high school recruits are kind of, no one really likes the way all that is happening right now. Except the players like it. They have all the leverage, but the fans don't like it. Head coaches don't like it. Schools don't like it. But I don't know I do think there's going to be changes made to how all of that works at some point down the road. I don't know who's going to make or enforce that change or what that change is going to be, but I don't think it's just going to continue to be this just kind of shadowy stuff that happens that no one really knows no one really knows whether Nico is getting $8 million at Tennessee. It's a pretty well-known, it's kind of out there, but is he really though? I don't know. Is that $2 million a year? Is it $4 million for the first year, $2 million a year after that? I don't know. I have no idea. But so, I know some things I would change if I was in charge. I would make it all mandatory. I would make it mandatory that it be public, like NFL contracts.
Sure. Should be.
The dates that people are paid and everything, should be like the amounts, who's paying it. Is it Chick-fil-A or is it an NIL collective? I just think it should be known. Transparency, I think, is the easiest way to kind of, because we're just in a situation now where nobody believes anything, right? My team signs a highly rated player. What do I say? Oh, well, they just love Georgia. They want to win championships. They want to, play for the best coaches that are going to get them to the NFL. Somebody else signs a 5-star player. Oh, well, somebody dropped a bag. Everyone else is doing everything wrong except my team. That you hear it, and I'm using myself as an example to keep from pointing at anyone else, but everyone does that. Our coaches are great recruiters. Well, then everybody else says, well, no, they're just dropping bags. They just bought the player. Who knows? No one believes anything anymore.
Yeah. And I feel like that Mac Brown missed an opportunity here because he's one of the rare coaches who's on his way out at the end of his career. And he could have made a change here. But I don't necessarily blame him because I feel like it's so unknown. We use this term, the Wild West, and that's really what it is. And so I don't know if Mac Brown's thinking, if I call out so-and-so coach or program without any proof, are they going to put some legal action on me and I end up paying them a couple $1 million?
Yeah.
So he's probably just scared to say something. But I still go back to the fact that either say something and, go all into it or just don't say anything at all. He should have just left it alone. But it's going to take somebody outing somebody before this changes because like you just said, there's nobody really who's going to enforce all this shit?
Right.
The NCAA is definitely not going to.
No.
So the only real way to deter this from happening in the near future is to out people. But then if you out people and you don't have proof, then there might be, some kind of lawsuit, defamation. I don't know. So the whole thing's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah. And then 50 sets of rules for 50 different states and the schools operating within those states. But then what do you do if you're a high school kid in Florida getting recruited by a school in Georgia? Well, which state's laws apply then for NIL?
Mhm.
It's a total mess. It's just a total.
And you got Jimbo Fisher coming out talking about tampering and NIL's ruining college football.
Yeah, now see, that's where I stop listening to people when they go to it's ruining. It's not ruining it. It's just a change you don't like. It's just like targeting was ruining college football. Okay, well, more people watched college football this season than any other year in human history, including you, the person, whoever it is that's saying college football is ruined. You're watching, and more people are watching than ever before. So you can say what does ruined really mean? What is the goal of college football as a business? It's to make money and to get people to watch it, and they're making more money than they've ever made before, and more people are watching than have ever watched before. So not everything they're doing is wrong. We just tend to focus on what's wrong. We're not going to do an hour show about everything that college football gets right. It's that's just not the way society works. You bitch and moan, all of us, myself included, about the stuff that doesn't work, the stuff we don't like. It's like you go to a restaurant, the food's good and you have good service. You don't run home and leave a 5-star Yelp review. You go to a restaurant and your food's an hour late and it tastes like shit. You can't wait to get home and leave a 1-star review. It's that kind of thing. So it's not that it's being ruined. It's just that a lot of changes have taken place, major changes, in a short period of time that weren't fully thought through before implemented. And then on top of that, they were all implemented within a 2 or 3 year period. Like in NIL, the change in the transfer rules and the creation of the transfer portal were basically all thrown at college football in a 2-year period, and no one knows what to do with it. It's just a mess. So, and I don't pretend to know what the answers are, and I generally hate complaining about things when I don't have anything that I know of that, I can provide solutions or at least an opinion on what I think would fix it or whatever, but it's going to have to be somebody smarter than me that figures it out. I think transparency would help, but you need, more than just that. But I think that's one thing that would help. We need to know, I think, who's paying this kid, how much are they paying them, and when did they pay? What is it? Is it a contract? Is it a 4-year contract? Is Nico getting $2 million a year every January? I mean, what? Or did he get $8 million the minute he signed his NIL? I mean, his national letter of intent. What? I mean, what did he? Did he get $8 million the day when he signed with Tennessee last week? Is that when he got his $8 million? Did he get $2 million last week? Does he get it on January 1st? Like, what's the deal? And I'm using Nico because that was just a major story that was all over the place this summer about him getting $8 million. I don't even know if it's true.
Yeah, and if you ask 4 different Tennessee fans, they'll tell you 4 different stories because they don't know either, but they're reading something they saw on Reddit or whatever and regurgitating it, and they go, oh no, if he stays 4 years he gets $2 million per year, but they don't really know that because there's no official word on that.
And I'm not even saying it's wrong. Like I'm not. That's not the point. I don't even. So Tennessee fans don't need to get defensive about what I'm saying. I'm not even saying it's wrong if that's what Tennessee did. I'm not even saying it's wrong. I'm just saying who knows if it. I don't even know if it actually happened. Never mind if it's right or wrong. How many of us? Everybody always Texas A&M bought that recruiting class last year. Okay, tell me how. Tell me how. Tell me a freshman on that team. Tell me how much they got paid. Tell me when they got paid, and tell me who paid them. No one knows. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. All right, let's get back to the games. We done bitched and moaned, ran everybody off.
So that's Daniel Paul, YouTube has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I mean,
someone's blaming YouTube. What? Who blamed YouTube?
He's saying their money is their business. It's like asking how much does some random person make on YouTube.
Well, no. Sports, I mean, like NFL contracts, for example. They're not a secret. You have to disclose it. So that's all. That's what I'm saying.
It does have a point, though, because this is the problem. Is there really is no precedent set for letting everybody know what college kids make because it's a new thing.
Right.
So, but
all right. Ole Miss and Texas Tech. Ole Miss is favored by 3.5 The SEC gets their first bowl win here. I'm going to take Lane Kiffin. I think they have 400 yards rushing in this game. Give me Ole Miss.
I agree with you there. With the SEC getting their first win.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. Give me Ole Miss by a lot. Actually, 3.5 is too way too little.
Look at that over. Another one in the 70s there. 71 on that one.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, moving on to Oklahoma. I don't have to say much to say about that. Oklahoma and Florida State. This should be a good one. Florida State, a 9.5 point favorite. Over under 66. Brent Venables had a rough go of it the first half of the season. He started to put it together a little bit more towards the second half of the season. And also, he's out there recruiting his ass off. Now, I know Oklahoma sort of sells itself, but based on the way that team looked for the first half of the year, for him to put together the recruiting class that he did, especially defensively, has been pretty impressive. I still think that Florida State's the better team here. What did this open up at? Do you know, Lou? Do you remember? I can't remember what it opened up.
I don't remember either.
It was less than that. I feel like it's that Florida State's gone up. I think it started at like 7.5. So it's now at 9.5. They're getting to the point where I'm going to start switching my pick to Oklahoma, because originally I know I picked Florida State to cover, but it wasn't at 9.5 points. So at 9.5, I'll probably reluctantly take Florida State, but if it gets to 10 or over, I'll probably take the Sooners.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend, too, if anybody actually wants to bet on the game, to bet it now while it's 9.5 under that key number of 10. But I think Florida State wins this game easily. I just think they're way better than Oklahoma. They're one of the hottest teams in the country. I mean, they got 3 losses, but they happened back to back in the middle of the season. Prior to that, they beat LSU and 3 or 4 teams in a row. Then they had a bad 3-game stretch. I mean, they probably, Clemson was better than Florida State, so you can excuse that one. But they should have been able to beat Wake Forest or NC State, or maybe even both. So those were, maybe a little bit of a bump in the road there, a 3-game stretch. That was a tough 3-game stretch for them, though. But then they didn't lose another game to close out the season, so they're kind of on a roll. Not so much with Oklahoma. I do like Florida State to win and cover. Washington and Texas. I think this is going to be a really good game. This is another team, Washington, with a really good quarterback, but and then Texas is a 3.5 point favorite. Some people think this is Quinn Ewers' last game as a starter at Texas. I disagree.
Too.
I don't think there's any way Arch Manning starts at Texas next year. Not week 1. In fact, I think it would take an injury to Quinn Ewers to see Arch Manning. I don't even think there's a scenario where Ewers just gets benched and Manning takes over. I think it would take an injury to Quinn Ewers for Arch Manning to play next year. I do think Arch Manning's a legitimate quarterback. I know a lot of people think, he's going to be terrible. They're just basing it off of his last name. I mean, every recruiting service in the country had him as top 2 quarterback. So I think he is really, really good. But it is true he did not play the best competition in high school. So it's going to be a big step up for him just practicing at Texas, never mind having to play in games or anything like that as a true freshman. I think best case scenario for Texas is that Quinn Ewers plays next year and plays well. And you spend next year getting Arch Manning ready. You hope for a couple of blowouts where you can play him in the second half, things like that. And then maybe Arch Manning takes over the following year. But that doesn't have anything to do with this game. But I do like Texas in this game, -3.5.
So I think that the pressure at Texas is so immense compared to a lot of other places. Like a lot of places, if you have a veteran quarterback who's highly rated and you have this hot shot coming in, like the number 1 quarterback in the country at Arch Manning, most places the coaching staff is able to fight that off and keep the new guy on the bench for as long as possible. I don't know if Texas is able to do that. I do think that Quinn Ewers starts the season next year, but I feel like the fan base and the media and everybody else is going to find some. I mean, Quentin Ewers throws 3 interceptions in one game. All of a sudden, it's going to be a lot of pressure to put in Archie Manning. I feel like that. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be game 2, 3, 4, 6, or whatever. I think you're going to see a changing of the guard. Eventually, at some point next season, Manning will take over, and that'll be the end of the Ewers era in Texas, and he will enter the transfer portal. But as far as this game goes, oh, man, this is a hard one. First of all, this is one of the best games on the slate.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Washington's good.
Perspective. Yeah. Give me Washington as the underdog.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. That's one I really think could go either way.
Yeah, I'll take them in the points. 3.5. I like the.
I'm gonna skip the NC State game. You might want to talk about it, but I'm gonna go to South Carolina, Notre Dame. We can go back to NC State if you want to, but South Carolina and Notre Dame. Notre Dame favored by 2.5. Now these are two teams that I do not like, but South Carolina, the ending of South Carolina's season is I think it puts South Carolina in a dangerous place for next season in terms of fan expectations and what they can do. Look, those were two huge wins for South Carolina. I don't want to take those wins away. Beating two top 10 teams in a row is a big deal for anybody. For anybody. Any of us watching right now, if our team had back-to-back top 10 wins, we would be talking about it. We would be pointing to that as proof that we're good somehow. So you can't take anything away. South Carolina played those games, and they won them. And as far as the Tennessee game, Hendon Hooker played. Now, as far as the Clemson game goes, the ukulele played, but at the time, that was who Dabo said was their best quarterback. So I'm not taking anything away from those wins from South Carolina. But I just don't think they're as good as Tennessee, and I don't think they're as good as Clemson, and I don't think they're as good as Notre Dame. I don't. On top of the fact that they've lost two of their best offensive players to the portal that aren't going to be playing in this game, and I know everybody loses people, but South Carolina is not a team that has depth that can replace that. They just don't recruit at a level. They're not replacing that Jaheim Bell at tight end or Marshawn Lloyd at running back. It's just not happening. And Spencer Rattler, as good as he was the last two games of the season, was unreliable in every other game he played. Which Spencer Rattler will you get? I don't know. It's going to take the Superman Spencer Rattler if they're going to win this game against Notre Dame. And for Notre Dame, so in other words, what I'm saying is there's like this perception of South Carolina that's based off the last two games that I don't feel like is 100% accurate. I also think there's a perception of Notre Dame in the opposite direction. Oh, they lost to Marshall and Stanford. Yeah, they did. They did. And inexcusable. But other than that, they played pretty good football this year. I mean, yeah, they lost to Ohio State and they lost to Southern Cal. Okay, those are two top 10 teams. They beat Clemson. They beat Syracuse, which looked like a good win at the time. They beat North Carolina. I think Notre Dame is a much better team than South Carolina. Much better. And I think Notre Dame wins this game, and I don't think it's particularly close. And I hate that for Jackpot, and I hate it for South Carolina fans because it's weird to say, but if there was ever a year you wish you could go 8-4 and not play a bowl game, it would be this year for South Carolina because it's just a great springboard into the offseason. Those last two wins that they had, but I don't think they make it three in a row by beating Notre Dame. I think they lose this one.
I mean, what I say doesn't matter because you guys know how I feel about South Carolina. But yeah, I think the it's not just the fact that they have opt-outs. It's the ones that are opting out and the ones that are transferring and not playing in this game that make the difference here. But by the way, kudos to Spencer Rattler for not being a quitter.
Yeah.
Other guys are quitting on him, but he's choosing to stay. And there are rumors that he's going to transfer out. Have you heard these?
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah.
I've heard he wants to follow the offensive coordinator to, what is it?
Nebraska.
Nebraska, yeah. But then Nebraska signed another quarterback, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to go to Nebraska, but I'm just going off of what Spencer Rattler himself said. He said, I owe it to Shane Beamer, the way that he's treated me, how great he's treated me since I've been here to at least play in the bowl game. That to me sounds like he's either going to, he's going to transfer probably, right? I mean, we're into the draft.
Yeah. I don't know.
Either one. But anyway, yeah, I'm with you here. South Carolina, great story. It's especially to end the year the way that they did, beating two top 10 teams and beating Clemson for the first time in 8 years and beating them at home and ending that 6-year win streak. The whole thing is a great story. So you can't take that away from them. They had an amazing season. But, it's not like a week-to-week thing during your regular season. Now you've had several weeks off. You had the holidays. Things are different now. A bunch of players that were stars in both of those games are not going to be on the field. I think that Notre Dame is just a more sound overall team, especially in the trenches. And so give me the Irish here. And I don't think it's going to be particularly close either. I think at least double digits. So give me Notre Dame by 10.
All right. There you go, deadbeat. If you feel like calling in and getting humiliated and talked down to like a child for 10 minutes, then click the link if that's really something you're looking forward to doing. Or it's likely not. I doubt you'd have the balls to do it, but since you got plenty to say in the comment section, there you go. Hit the link down there, or get somebody to show you how it works.
Well, while we're waiting on him to click that link, we got the game of the year, the Orange Bowl, which I'm sure hasn't gone unnoticed by most college football fans that both these teams are orange. So there is that. But Clemson has a very good record in the Orange Bowl, and Dabo Swinney in particular. Some of his greatest wins have come in the Orange Bowl. Tennessee, they haven't played Tennessee since the 2003 season, 2004 Peach Bowl, which Clemson won that game. That's the last time we saw Tennessee. I'm really happy, excited about this game, except for the fact that Tennessee, some of their best players are quitting on them, mainly Jalen Hyatt. And, of course, Hooker's hurt.
Yeah. And
there's some other players, too, on defense, I believe. If you look at the over-under here, 63.5, that looks like a high number. I believe that this is going to be way above that. I think Clemson's going to score close to 50. And that's not saying that Clemson's offense is amazing. It's really an indictment on Tennessee's defense and the fact that I believe that Clemson is going to run the ball very effectively, over 200 yards at minimum. And Kay Klubnik has now had 3 weeks for the first time in his career to practice with the ones and had 3 weeks to prepare for this. I expect to see probably an explosion of offense for Clemson for the first time this year, which would be great just leading into next year to give us some sort of delusions of grandeur, thinking that Clemson's offense is going to be good next year. But the opposite for Tennessee. I think they're going to take a step back offensively because of the opt-outs and the injuries. So give me the Tater Man by double digits. So 5.5, not enough. I'm actually surprised that when it started, it was 6.5 last time I saw it. So some money's going on Tennessee.
Yes, at 5.5 right now. I love Clemson under a touchdown here. Now, I do think at full strength, this is a game Tennessee would have potential to win. Not that they would win it, but and I know Clemson's got some people that aren't playing too. So and theirs are mainly defensive, and then the ukulele's not playing basically because he got benched. I know he's transferring, but had he not got benched, he wouldn't be transferring. So, but anyway, the players out for Tennessee, I think, will have more of an impact on them offensively than the one or two players on Clemson will defensively. And I think Clemson is actually upgrading by changing quarterbacks for the bowl game, whereas Tennessee is clearly downgrading. Even if it's not by a lot. I mean, Tennessee, you can't run around. Listen, this is a message to Tennessee fans. You can't run around all year and then 2 weeks now after the season ends talking about how Hendon Hooker was the best quarterback in football and should have won the Heisman, and then pretend Joe Milton's just as good. It just doesn't work that way. That's just not how it works. And then missing the 2 wide receivers as well, and the defense doesn't exist. It never did. So it doesn't matter who's there. Or not there. The defensive back that didn't play in the South Carolina game, which, that was the rumors where he had gotten in a fight maybe with Hendon Hooker in the locker room, whatever. He didn't make the trip to Columbia. A lot of people said, well, that's one of the reasons, blah, blah, blah. He's gone. So if he really was good enough to make a difference in the South Carolina game, you're missing him. Clemson's got the best offensive player in the game, both teams combined, and it's Shipley. He's better than anybody Tennessee has because of the opt-outs they have. Now, maybe Jalen Hyatt, you'd say, is a better wide receiver than Shipley as a running back. We could have that debate, or Hendon Hooker, better quarterback than Shipley as a running back. But those guys aren't playing for Tennessee. Shipley is, and I think Klubnik at quarterback's a huge upgrade over what they got this year from ukulele. I think Clemson wins and covers the 5.5 points.
Yeah, I get a lot of pushback about Tennessee fans. I keep saying that Clemson's going to rush for at least 200 yards, and they go, "No, there's no way, no." Look, they average that all year long.
Yeah.
So that's not a crazy statement for to say. It has nothing to do with Tennessee. Well, actually, it kind of does. I mean, Tennessee's run defense is terrible, so that does have something to do with it. But they're going to run the ball early and often, and they've got 3 guys that can run it. Guess what? Clemson loves to run the quarterback.
Yeah.
Klubnik actually he's not DJ. He actually can run. So you're going to see a heavy dose of Shipley. You're going to see a heavy dose of Maffa, and you're going to see at least 10 quarterback design runs from Cade, not to mention the ones that he just runs on scrambles. So, yeah, I have no doubt that Clemson, well, there's always a doubt, right? But, yeah, I have no doubt that Clemson's going to be able to put up a lot of numbers rushing. Even if it doesn't lead to a win, they're going to put up numbers rushing. They have all year. I have no reason to believe any different this game.
All right, that takes us into the Saturday games, which is going to be the Sugar Bowl and the 2 playoff games, which we will get to that in just a second. But first, let's take the trash out. Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the problem?
What do you say the trash for?
What's the
What
problem?
are you saying the trash? Why are you already trying to get into a fight with me?
Because I read your dumbass, ignorant fucking comments in the comment section. So this is what I say all the time. It's one thing to type in the comment section, but then you want to come on here and act like, why am I doing this or that? I see what you put in the comment section. So let's go. What do you want to talk about?
Well, what did I put in the comments that was so terrible?
What is, you said drop the link. You wanted to come on. What is it you wanted to come on for, dummy? We're running out of time here.
Look, I'm going to try and be respectful, but if you don't want to,
why?
talk
You're
to
not
me
respectful in the
without
comment
respect-
section.
without respect,
You're not respectful
then
in the
fuck
comment section.
you.
So why do you want to come on here and be respectful? Crawl back to the comment section and type. You're not cut out for this shit.
I didn't say anything disrespectful, did I tonight?
Yes, every day. Every day you do. So now you're on here. You asked
No,
for
you
the
say
link.
the disrespectful
You asked
things,
for the link,
Ted.
dummy. You're on here. What is it you
say
wanted
the
to come on here to
disrespectful
say?
things all the time to everybody but Georgia.
What is it?
Everything but Georgia. And they've only won once since 1980. So
But they've
you
won
need
one
to
since
just calm
January.
down about
They've won one
how
since
great you
January.
think you are. You need to just calm down about how great you think.
Calm me down then.
All right. Do you want to hear the reasoning that I have that we can get this chaos of NIL?
No,
And
I don't.
transfer
This
portal?
isn't a call-in show. I'm not interested in your opinion on that. No, I'm not interested at all. You were talking a bunch of shit in the comment section and asked for the link. I gave you the link.
I didn't
What is
talk
it you
shit
wanted to
in
get
the
off your
link. I was
chest?
saying how put me in to talk about the chaos of the NIL. That's what I said.
No, it's the Uncle
I didn't
Loser
put
this and
any-
Uncle Loser that, and now you're in
been-
here. You
yeah,
want
but I've
to
been
and you want to
calling you
cry
rude
about
tonight
disrespect. Go back to the comment section. That's where you belong. Go back to the comment section. All right, the Saturday games at noon, we have the Sugar Bowl. It's Kansas State and Alabama. Alabama's a 6.5-point favorite. This one has gone up, obviously, since it was announced that Bryce Young and Will Anderson are going to play. When we looked at this last time, Pete, it was 3.5. So it's
Yeah.
almost doubled up to 6.5. I picked Kansas State at 3.5. I did not expect Bryce Young and Will Anderson to play in this game, but they are. So Alabama's probably going to win this game, but I'm going to stick with my original predictions because I just don't want people pointing and saying I changed. So I'm going to now go with Kansas. I'm still going to go with Kansas State, but I was surprised Bryce Young and Will Anderson chose to play in this game. I'm still interested to see how much they play. Kyle Trask played for Florida a couple of years ago in the first half and then didn't play in the second half, even though Florida was still losing. They just kind of took him out to protect him type of deal. So we'll see how much they play or if they play the whole game or whatever the case. I'm going to stay with my pick of Kansas State, but I'm not confident in it at all with Bryce Young and Will Anderson playing.
Yeah, so I've changed my stance on a lot of things. I've changed my stance on this game in particular. Right? Originally, I thought that Kansas State might be able to give Alabama something. But what I've really changed my stance on is, I usually like, but just because of YouTube and the SEC thing, and I like to see SEC teams lose so I can say, oh, look, the SEC is terrible in bowl games. They run around all season. No, I'm rooting for Alabama in this game. You want to know why, Lou? Because Bryce Young and Will Anderson are fucking quitters. And so I've adopted a new format for rooting for people in bowl games. If I don't have any skin in the game, I'm rooting for people who don't quit. Because all I've been hearing for the past 3 weeks is, oh, well, if you got millions of dollars on the line, Pete, what would you advise him to do, Pete? And I go, yeah, well, I mean, they shouldn't quit on their team. And Bryce Young comes out and says exactly what I have been saying, is that there's no way that he would not play with his brothers one more game. It doesn't matter what his draft stock is. So I'm rooting for Bryce Young and Alabama to win this game for that reason and that reason only. So roll Tide in that.
I agree with you. I couldn't be happier that they're playing in this game, and I wish more people would sort of, look at that and maybe make decisions a little bit differently. However, I also at the same time think it's a little bit sad that we have to pat a football player on the head and congratulate him for playing a football game. It's sad that we've got to that point where, we're having to go out of our way to say how proud we are of Bryce Young for playing a football game. But that's what you're supposed to do. So that's just kind of lets you know where we're at. And you're going to have people that, I mean, Georgia's had players sit out and didn't even get drafted. And then, you got players all the time that sit out the bowl game but didn't play in the Senior Bowl a month later. There's things that make no sense. So I'm glad they're playing because it makes the game more watchable. But as far as going out of my way to pat them on the head or something, I'm not going to do that. Joe wants to know if he's still on, which tells me everything we already knew about Joe. He doesn't even know if he's on the air or not.
People keep telling me I don't know anything about Tennessee. Just say you don't know anything about Tennessee. Just say, look, yeah, I've seen Tennessee play all year. I've seen them play more than I've seen most SEC teams play. Just tell me you don't know anything about Clemson.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Iowa and Kentucky, I'm taking the under. It's at 31. You could reverse that number. Make it 13. I'd still take the under. I don't have any opinion on who wins the game. I'll take Kentucky because they're an SEC team at +2, but it's Iowa and Kentucky. I mean, paint your wall and watch it dry. That's what this game is.
Under 31.
Yeah. I hear you. All right, and that brings us to the playoff games, TCU and Michigan, Ohio State and Georgia. I feel like we've both talked probably a lot about these two games over the last few weeks, so I'm going to keep this kind of quick. I'll start with Ohio State and Georgia. I love Georgia under a touchdown. I do feel like this could be a close competitive game. I do think Ohio State has the athletes offensively and the offensive philosophy to beat Georgia. I don't think they have the lines of scrimmage or the defense to beat Georgia. And I would not be surprised if Ohio State leads at certain points of this game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe a back and forth type of thing for a while. But I do like Georgia over the course of the game to wear Ohio State down enough along both lines of scrimmage to where in the fourth quarter, offensively, Georgia's able to grind out long drives, keeping Ohio State off the field, and then defensively, they're able to really slow them down, prevent them from scoring late in the game. I like Georgia over a touchdown, even if it's, Georgia could be up by 3 with 5 minutes to go and score or something and win by 10, but I like Georgia -6.5, mainly because of the lines of scrimmage. I think Georgia's got a huge coaching advantage, too.
I'm going to take the Buckeyes with the points. I think Georgia wins a close one. It hurts me to say that. I'm actually going to be wearing a Georgia hat. Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
Yeah. Raj mailed me one.
Raj.
Raj mailed me a Georgia hat. So I'll be wearing that during the stream. But, Ohio State, I think this is a good matchup. I do. I think the only team that probably could put up points on Georgia's defense, if out of anybody in the country, it probably would be Ohio State. If the conditions are favorable for them. So I do expect them to be ready. Oh man, I can't believe it's 62.5. I probably actually would take the under on that. I don't know.
Almost all of Georgia's games go under.
Georgia's going to score.
Almost all of Georgia's games go under.
Yeah. Yeah, under 62.5. and give me the Buckeyes with the points. If it were closer to a field goal, I might take Georgia. I think Georgia wins by about 5 or 6, 6.5 too many. So give me the Buckeyes. You know how much it hurts me to say that. So.
Yeah, I know. All right, TCU and Michigan, and I like this. Michigan is a 7.5-point favorite. I'm going to take TCU and the points. I feel like a lot of people are expecting this to be a blowout game, and I get it. People have been down on TCU. It sort of feels, even to me, who's watched a lot of TCU, and it still kind of feels like a Cinderella type of deal, like they're just lucky to be there thing. Part of this is just because I've watched so much TCU and they've been so much fun to watch, especially in the second half of games. I'm kind of just hoping for another one of those classic TCU games. I do think Michigan will win, but I'm going to take TCU in the 7.5. I think Max Duggan's going to have. Good. I think people are going to watch this game. First of all, I think a lot of people are going to see TCU play for the first time in this game. Would you? Yeah. Don't you think?
Yes.
And I think they're going to go, how did Max Duggan not win the Heisman?
Yeah.
Now, I don't necessarily mean that means Max Duggan or TCU will win the game, but I think people that haven't watched TCU are going to watch this game and then go, how did he not win? He's so fun to watch. I'm going to take TCU in the 7.5.
I think it's a great story. I hope TCU wins just for the story of it, because I'm not a fan of either team, but there is something to be said. We see this a lot, not a lot, but every once in a while in the playoffs, we see a team that's never been in there, a long shot get in there. And what usually happens to them? They usually get blown out.
Yeah.
That's been the precedent that's been set. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Michigan, yeah, they've been at the playoffs. They have lost, but they've been there. And I feel like that they're just more prepared for this type of game. Has TCU played a game as big this year as Michigan versus Ohio State?
No, they don't. Who's TCU's rival? Texas. Okay, but that's not Texas's biggest rival. Oklahoma is. So there is no TCU versus anybody game that's anywhere close to Ohio State Michigan deal. No.
Now I'm about to throw a monkey wrench in this thing here. Ready?
Yeah.
So Michigan better prepared. I think they'll win. I think they're the better team. But this isn't about who's going to win, right? This is about the point spread. 7.5 points. TCU, you could pick out probably 3 or 4 games throughout the season that they easily could have lost.
Oh yeah.
But it wouldn't have been by 7.5 points to any of them. So they're like they're
like a roach.
Yeah, they just keep coming back. So although I think the TCU finally will find a way to lose for the first time, I don't know if it'll be by more than 7.5. So give me the Horny Frogs with the 7 and a hook. If it were that hook is what's getting me, Lou.
Yep.
If it weren't a hook, I probably would take Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Michigan's the better team, will win the game. For somewhat of the same reasons I'm picking Georgia over Ohio State. Like, I think Michigan's got a huge advantage along the lines of scrimmage. It's for me, it's Max Duggan. I can't imagine Max Duggan getting blown out. He just has a way. It could be 3rd and 17, and you just know he's going to pick up 18 yards. It's the weirdest thing. So we'll see. It's been a fun story to watch. So, yeah, I've got Georgia and Michigan in the national title game, which, Pete, would only be, I think, the 3rd time in playoff history we've ended up with 1 versus 2.
Yeah, that's right.
And 1 has never beat 2.
Nope.
In the championship game. 2
of those were Clemson.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then, like we said, no games on Sunday, but you move ahead to Monday, January 2nd. You've got the last of the remaining bowl games there. Tulane and Southern Cal. Tulane is a 2-point underdog. I think Tulane wins. I think they beat Southern Cal.
Damn.
Yeah. Mark me down. I think Tulane wins the game outright. Don't even need the points. Green wave. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say USC wins that.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, I understand. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Hey, Central Florida beat Auburn that one year in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
Cincinnati almost beat Georgia. It's happened. These things have happened before.
Well, first of all, if the Green Wave beat Southern Cal, if Southern Cal closes out the year that way, that would be funny. Because, the Trojan man's been beating his chest for the entire season.
Yeah.
So, So what you're saying is USC doesn't want to be there because they're playing
Well,
Tulane?
I don't even know. Well, other than the fact that they were one game away from making the playoffs, this would be a great bowl game for Southern Cal year one under Lincoln Riley because they were so bad last year, 4-8. But they were so close to making the playoffs. They lost to Utah there in the Pac-12 title game, or they would have been in, and Ohio State would have been out. So maybe there's a little bit of a disappointment factor there for Southern Cal, but not much of one. I think. I just think Tulane's going to beat them. I think Tulane might be a better team.
Yeah, they're actually a pretty good team. You're right.
They beat Kansas State. I mean, I'm not, that's not Southern Cal, but I'm going to take Tulane. We see some upsets sometimes in these big games. Why not pick one? I'm going to take Tulane.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I just, give me Caleb Williams. He's going to run around and make some plays. He'll be the hero at the end.
All right, Purdue and LSU. LSU's a 15-point favorite in this one. This game's interesting to me because Jaden Daniels has announced he ain't going nowhere. And it's not the same situation as Clemson because Jaden Daniels got injured, whereas the ukulele didn't. But Nussmeier looked really good in the second half against Georgia. Now that's the most he's ever played, and it was off the bench, and that's not the same as starting and having the team prepare for you and stuff like that. I get all that. But I wonder, I don't know what LSU's going to do quarterback-wise in this game. I don't know if they play both. I feel like Nussmeier played so good against Georgia. How do you just put him right back on the bench? I don't know. So I'm curious about the quarterback situation for LSU. But I'm just not a believer in the Big Ten West at all. I think LSU wins by more than 15. I don't think this is going to be a close game at all.
I'm with you. I know the knock on Brian Kelly is, with Notre Dame is, can't win a big bowl game. Well, this isn't a big bowl game to begin with, but he can't win a bowl game, period. Fine. But Purdue they're doing some gimmicky shit. They're bringing in Drew Brees in there. Their coaches left. They're gone to coach at Louisville. As far as I know, Keyshawn Booty is playing in this game. Yeah, give me the LSU Tigers. This might be over by the first quarter. Look down in the bayou and find a win for the Tigers.
Have you talked to him lately?
Yeah.
Okay. I tune in. He live streams at some odd times. Like I noticed he'll be just live streaming at like 10:30 on a Tuesday morning, just at random time or something. So I watch some of his live streams and I've watched some of his videos, but I haven't actually had any direct contact with him in God, probably since the beginning of the season. But he seems to be doing all right over there.
Yeah, he's excited, and I don't blame him.
Yeah,
there's a lot of rumors that maybe Sam Hartman is going to transfer to Notre Dame. I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah, that would make a big difference at a place like Notre Dame because quarterback's a position that's really been quarterback and wide receiver seems like really been holding them back. I mean, they've got good lines of scrimmage. They put tight ends in the NFL all the time. They've put secondary people in the NFL. They've had All-American linebackers. Quarterback and wide receiver has been sort of the shortcoming for them. Seems like a quarterback could make a big difference there.
The other one is Slovis. There's two
that's
of them
right.
big time
Slovis
quarterbacks
transferring again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Utah and Penn State in the Rose Bowl. Utah's a 2.5-point favorite. I think this is going to be another great. These are two really physical teams. I really like Penn State's ground game. Utah's quarterback reminds me a lot of Max Duggan. He's not the most talented guy around, but he gives you everything he's got. I think this is going to be a really, really good game. Utah came up a little short in this game last year against Ohio State. I think they win it this year. I'm going to take Utah and lay the 2.5 points, but I think this is going to be a really good game.
Yeah, this might be one of the best games of the year, and ironically, it's the last one. I mean, other than the national championship.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna go based on consistency throughout the year here, and I'm gonna take Utah here.
All right, so we agree on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just now thinking and realizing, okay, that game comes on next Monday at 5. So we're still going to do the Lunch Money Show at 10, right? Next Monday? The game will be over by then.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the plan.
All right. Just wanted to make sure nothing was changing since there was football games on all next Monday. But this 5 o'clock Rose Bowl is the latest game of the day, so it should be over by 8 or 9. We can still do the Lunch Money Show at 10, so that should be good. And we'll have football games played that day that we can talk about. So
Yeah,
that's
it's a good one too.
Yeah. And maybe we'll talk some Slob Olympics next week too. We ran out of time today. It's already 12:15. Me and Pete working overtime today. But that's it. I don't have anything else. Pete, do you?
No.
Yeah, it's time to wrap it up. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. I went over my game stream schedule a little earlier. The rest of the live stream schedule is basically the same. So I'll have a call-in show tomorrow and Thursday. I've got the morning show Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday on the second channel. Saturday morning, I'm doing the college kickoff show at 9 a.m., where we'll give away some money again like we normally do. And then I'm doing game streams every day of the week from tomorrow through Saturday. So just make sure you have the notification bell turned on is the best I can tell you, because it's constant live streams for the next 5 days. All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Pete, you get the last word if you're still there. I don't even know.
Yeah, all you Tennessee fans that are calling me clowns in the comment section, hopefully you show up after you get your ass whipped and Clemson runs for over 200 yards on you in the Orange Bowl. But chances are that you won't. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for the ACC show.
All right, y'all subscribe to Pigskin Pete if you're not already, and we'll be back next Monday night at 10 to do it all over again. Enjoy the rest of your week, and have a good morning.